It says please wait. Whoa, they changed the name of a button in OBS.
Yeah, okay,
now it
so
says
that's
auto
not
stop.
secret. That's not secret stuff.
Oh,
Tech
good. So you can't
Power
talk about that? Okay, cool.
No, Tech Power Up in March has an article saying Superflower PSU brand entering the U.S. market from 3 years ago.
Cool.
That's not secret stuff.
Cool. All right, so let me go into the live control room here. It says we are currently streaming at 1.21 gigawatts.
That's too many. That's too many gigawatts.
too many gigawatts.
That's a lot.
Too many gigawatts. I am going to crank up our bit rate though, because I always forget to do that. So we're now up to 4,000 bit rates.
Crank that, Soldier Boy.
And then for you, crank that, Soldier Boy. And then for your settings, let's see, can I crank you up to? Oh yeah, I'm going to take you up to 1920 by 10. Oh, there you go. Oh yeah.
I like a counterclockwise crank, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no worries. I got you covered, bro. All right, so you should be a little bit sharper on stream now. Coming in at 1920s by 1080s instead of that 720p garbage.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. I saw in the video, maybe it's changed.
It always selects it by default. I don't know why. Maybe it's just they assume people don't have a lot of bandwidth or something. I don't know.
When we first started, so let me see here.
It should be
something changed. So when I first joined into the room, it was 720p, but now it's up at 1080 60. So
yep. I cranked her up for you there, boss. Cool. I went to, because I can push your buttons from over here. It even lets me see your whole file system, and I can go through all your files. And that'd be funny. How terrible would that be? He's just sitting over here, just like the scammers do, where it's like you're nursing their file system.
You might learn something.
Yeah. Hey, I could.
I didn't know it could bend that way.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that's where it goes? Shit, I've been doing it wrong all these years. How did Xander get happen?
Just good. Hey, man, go with what feels good.
All right, I'm sharing the link. Oh, I always have, brother. I always have. All right, so let's see. Tech Talk is a go. There we go.
Hey, I'm on fiber now too, but still Wi-Fi because I have to go poke some holes.
Sure. Wi-Fi is it Wi-Fi 6? Wi-Fi 6?
Yeah, it is Wi-Fi 6. Okay. So I'm getting like 500 megabit through the air.
That's still good. Good.
Yeah, it's tremendous. Though I'm having some funny business, like my TV apps, right? Like I have a smart TV and I open like the Prime app or whatever.
Yep.
And I'll watch an episode, or like I'll be watching and then it'll like buffer or like freak out. Like I don't know. It might be coincidence, but it just happened that I was watching The Expanse, which I finally finished. Great show, by the way.
Great show.
Watched it. It's fucking tremendous.
Scientifically accurate.
Oh man, it's super great. There was one episode where it was like the last maybe 6 minutes or something. It hit a certain point in the video like stream where it goes like and I had to like almost force shut down the TV. And I was like, oh, that's freaking weird. And
you got an audio buffering issue on a TV app?
Yeah, it happened twice at the exact same moment in the video. So I was like, okay, whatever. I'm just not going to watch the last few minutes of this one episode. Like, no big deal.
Sure.
And it's fine. But then just last night, I was watching Jack Ryan, another great show. Highly recommend it. It's great.
Love it. I've been watching it.
Amazing. Yep. And it finished the episode and it says like, okay, 3, 2, 1, it's going to start the next episode. And it does the countdown, like, right. It just auto plays, but then the screen just goes black. Like it's going to the next episode, but then it just sat there.
That's weird.
I'm like, well, that's freaking weird. So I back out. I got like jump over to Netflix real quick and come back.
Are you running any blockers on your router? Are you running anything like Pi-hole or anything like that, or a DNS SAS Pi-hole?
So funny when you say that. So I go back, right? I jump into Netflix, come back into the Prime, go to play the episode again. It says, oh, we don't have internet. Like you have no internet connection, but I can see on my Wi-Fi like app, right? Like I can check out the network. It says I have a great connection to the TV. Like everything is connected as far as I can tell. But so yeah, I turned off the built-in. There's like a, protect yourself from crypto mining scams, blah blah. There's like these two options in there that are like supposed to help protect your traffic and shit. And I turned those off, and it worked. So I'm suspecting that it was their like built-in protections are just a little bit too strong, or it's they're reading the apps somehow as bad, but it wasn't flagging anything like, right? Like,
well, no, it won't flag anything. It'll just act stupid. I've had the same thing happen in tons of apps because I run, I have not Pi-hole. It's a PF Blocker NG. It's basically Pi-hole, but built into PFSense. And I had a bunch of, I just added all the rules to it. I was like, I want all the protection. So I added all the protection to it. And then I started watching the live TV on my Samsung TV. It's called like Samsung TV Plus, right? and it comes for free. It comes for free with it. It's just free live streaming TV. You don't have to pay for it.
LG has the same.
Yeah, it's really cool. They all got like their own little thing, right? So I'm sitting there watching like Baywatch channels, like 24-hour Baywatch. Right, and whenever it goes to commercial, it's like, oh, Baywatch will be right back. But instead of an ad actually playing, it just keeps saying Baywatch will be right back. And then Baywatch never comes back unless I stop it and hit play again after a couple of minutes. Then it comes back. But every time it goes to ad, it basically says Baywatch will be right back. And then it never comes back, almost like that's a splash screen waiting for the ad to start streaming. And because the ad can never stream because it's blocking it.
Saying it played. I've had that happen when I have...
it's very weird.
I have nefariously watched certain sports happenings.
Oh, dude, they will kill you, man.
And that'll happen, right? It's basically like it's like piggybacking off someone's like NFL Plus subscription or something, right? But like it'll pop up a thing where normally they would have injected like a local broadcast ad, but it'll just say like NFL is coming back in a minute. But if the app doesn't get a trigger saying the ad like played and finished, Hulu will do that too. If you have ad blockers, it'll say, hey, we're because I think what happens is like it goes out to some other CDN, like there's like some database or network somewhere else that has all the ads that they want to play. And if you block like there's like some sort of handshake that happens. And if you block that from happening, they know that they're not playing ads, and then it doesn't trigger the next section, or it won't return you back to your show stream and stuff. Yeah. But I think we were having the same kind of issue, and I turned off those two things, and it seems to work. I'm still in a data collection mode, so like we'll see, but I'm pretty sure that was it.
I feel like a lot of these, not just the built-in apps on the TV, but like websites in general now are getting really strict about ad blockers and stuff, like of every kind. Like I go to websites now where I have uBlock Origin, I have PF Blocker NG, and it'll straight up pop up and be like, disable your ad blocker, you can't use our site.
Yep.
And I used to be able to work around them. I used to be able to work around that stuff by like, installing like Grease Monkey or something and just getting rid of the little block JavaScript thing, because they'd be lazy and just put a thing over the page that just made it so you couldn't click on anything unless you could just go into JavaScript and be like, oh, get rid of that window, and then you could use it. Right. But now they've gotten like really hardcore where it like will not even render the page. It won't even send the URLs or the streams down to the client if it detects even the semblance of an ad blocker. Yeah. And apparently YouTube's doing the same thing now. I haven't put it to the test because I have YouTube Premium. So I already paid for YouTube Premium, so I don't really have a real plausible way of testing it other than going into like incognito browser and messing with it. But apparently on YouTube now, if you try to watch videos with an ad blocker enabled, it'll like bark at you. And apparently you can even get your account banned if you like continue to watch videos. Like I think you get like 3 strikes or something like that. And then it basically like bans your account or blocks your account or something. I haven't tested it or really looked into it, but some people are posting some screenshots and were like pretty up in arms about the new policy change. And I don't know if it's gone into effect or not. Maybe somebody in chat over there could like let us know. But I am very, very curious if that went into effect, because that's kind of scary, man. Because like YouTube is probably the #1 reason people use ad blockers. And I thought that it was going to take longer. Like I really thought it was going to take longer for them to figure out how to block all the ad blockers and how to force people to watch advertisements. But no, the technology is there, and they're to the point now where it's actually, even though it's more expensive to deploy that technology, it's worth it in the long run for them.
Well, for sure. Yeah, if they can get more ad revenue, of course.
Yeah, because this we kind of shoot ourselves in the foot. This is the thing, and we do this all the time, right? Like collectively as a species, it's just a human thing. We want something for nothing if we can get it for nothing, but then the act of getting it for nothing causes everybody else to have to pay more for it until then they figure out how to put a system in place to force us to pay for it. But now we all have to pay more than if we had have all paid in the first place, because now we're paying for the infrastructure to keep us honest. So
it comes back around.
It's like, damn.
It comes back around to
every time.
There's 2 pieces to it that I think when it comes to advertising. One is the friction, right? Like nobody likes being interrupted, but it is acceptable. I think there's a certain level that is acceptable. Like I don't mind Hulu's ad breaks, right? They're usually, the worst offenders are usually only about 1.5 minutes, which is way better than broadcast or cable has ever been. Like you get 5-10 minutes of ads sometimes. On cable.
Plus, you and I, we grew up with TV, right? So we're used to it.
Right? Yeah, I'll take 5.5 minute ad breaks. Because that's part of it, is like 1.5 minutes. That's not that bad. I think most people would be okay with 90 seconds. It'd be like one long form ad and then 2 short forms or something like that. I think 90 seconds is probably okay for most people. What then is annoying is targeted. I don't give a shit about most of the ads that I see on Hulu. And that's what's annoying. One, why am I getting Spanish language ads? What in your data is telling you that is a good ad for me? Like, this is why I don't mind like Instagram ads, right? I don't mind Instagram ads because they are almost always relevant to my interests. I want to see things that are interesting to me. I'm not going to find this stuff on my own without it. There's too much stuff, right? So like I need to be advertised to in a way that is relevant to me.
Yeah.
If ads were illegal, ads should not be illegal. Oh man, that's a line I want to pull them into the conversation. Like,
you would take that back so quick if you knew what the actual end result of that would be.
Well, first off, how are you supposed to know about new products? And that might be okay on an individual level. Like there are going to be a very small percentage of people who are like, I just buy the stuff that I've always bought. But at some point you are advertised to for that product.
Yeah, almost everything that we encounter is either advertised to us by directly or by a friend who watched the advertisement.
Right.
Like at some point somebody saw it.
Word of mouth isn't enough. Right.
Yeah.
And you're going to get an ad in some form or another anyway. So like influencers, user generated content sort of advertising, right? Like, oh man, check out this cool fucking widget that I just got from fucking, Barnacules R Us, right? Oh, look, it's so fucking cool. It makes my life so much better. Like you're going to get an ad some way or another, regardless. Like that's just, it's just like, but again, it comes down to the form that it takes and the friction that it causes. Like, nobody wants to sit through a 10-minute unskippable YouTube ad.
Right.
Especially for like a Jeep Cherokee or something that I don't care about. Right. But if it's a minute and a half of ad that even on YouTube, I would be okay with unskippable ads. One, if I knew when they were coming, right. Which is something that we're used to with television and the way that like shows are structured. You can kind of anticipate
they've conditioned us. Yeah, they've conditioned us, like the way it fades away or the way the story takes like a break. That's like, oh, dude, we'll be back right after these messages or something. It's like we know.
Like when you go stream an old show that was originally on broadcast television, you can it'll be just like a jump cut, and you're like, oh, that's where an ad was supposed to be, and so like it's okay, but I've seen entire movies as ads before. Yeah, that's a manipulation of the ad system and things like that. That's a little different. But
there's a known bug, by the way, on YouTube that just recently got resolved. Jay even hit it. So Jay's 2 cents hit it, where it was basically putting like 100 ads in every video.
I saw that too.
Yeah, it was like it did it to us too on a bunch of tech talks that we did. People were like, why the hell is there an ad every 3 minutes for like 3 hours?
Right.
And it was literally just putting, when you said, hey, you put in when you just enabled monetization, it would automatically just put an ad every like 2 to 3 minutes for like 3 hours straight. And I'd have to go in and manually remove them all. It was so stupid. Yeah, but apparently they fixed that now, and that's not a problem.
So then, man, there's some good comments in here. So then try 1.5 minutes every 5 minutes. See, that is adding friction to your user experience, and people don't want it. They don't want that. That's just going to piss people off. That's why people will skip ads on YouTube as soon as the 5 seconds is up, like because it's not interesting or relevant, or it's interrupting the flow of the, it's increasing the friction of it, right? And ads are okay, but this data collecting in the name of targeting ads is bad because of privacy issues. Dude, that's 30 years too late.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say, 40 years too late. They've been collecting your data for targeted advertisement since before the introduction of loyalty cards. Like when you signed up for a Safeway loyalty card,
they've been
tracking every purchase that it's one of my favorite stories. And this is from like the early 2000s or something, where Target, their ad like predictive algorithms, let's call it just an AI, it's an early AI sort of thing. Their ad predictions were they were so good at predicting people's purchasing patterns that this is my favorite story about it. Target started sending coupons or like mailer ads to a 16-year-old girl.
I saw that
because they had noticed that her purchasing patterns of like vitamins, certain vitamins, and
stop buying sanitary napkins.
Not even that much. Like that. It was like they dug down into it, and it was a matter of like the timing of certain purchases of like vitamins and things like that. They knew with like an 88% accuracy that this girl was pregnant. Her dad got the coupons in the mail, right? She's checking the mail. He sees these coupons addressed to her, and are like, "Why are you sending my kid like diaper ads and stuff like that? She can't possibly be. She's not pregnant." Turns out she was.
Yep.
And like that kind of stuff. And that's from like 2003 or something like that. It was old. That's old news.
Personally, that still happens today, by the way.
Oh man, it still happens today. I dig it. I get coupons in the mail from Fred Meyer for shit that I already buy.
Yep.
Like why hasn't that been a thing for decades? That's totally going to make me buy more shit because it's stuff I'm already buying. So if you give me a 50% coupon on the fucking ice cream that I'm already buying, I'm going to go in, and shit just happened just a couple days ago. My lady and I had a 4-item list. We were only going to grab a couple things, but because they had great sales and we had coupons, we bought more stuff. We purposely got even a small cart, and it was like we overloaded this small cart because of like that kind of stuff. It's like,
coupons work. They'll make you overbuy. You'll end up spending more money for stuff that you probably will just throw away because it'll rot. But it's too good of a deal.
On it all the time. She's like, oh, it's on sale. Like we save money. No, we spent less money. That's not saving money. You gotta flip that. You gotta flip that around. And it's a little different because it's more of a jokey kind of thing. It's not like we're overspending or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it's like you didn't save $50 on those shoes. You spent $50 less than you would have otherwise. Like that's different.
Yeah. And Jeff and chat, ads have to be intrusive. That's the reason that they work.
Right.
Like if because here's the thing, if it didn't work, they wouldn't do it. So like when you say, oh, you know, it's so annoying, they shouldn't do that. It's like if everybody believed that, they wouldn't do it because it would be an unsuccessful advertising technique. Yeah. The reason they do it is because it actually does work to basically stop and interrupt you and have a 1 in 100 chance of this being the product that you're looking for that you don't even know you're looking for, and to catch your eye and to get you interested in it. That's not going to happen with just a little banner. It's not going to happen if it's just silently up in the corner of your screen and you're just passively paying attention, or you're looking at the show and not the ads around it. By stopping you and interrupting your attention and putting that in front of you where it's the only thing you can see without physically getting up and walking away, that gives them the best chance of selling to you. And keep in mind, for ads to be profitable, they only have to get like less than 1% of the people, way less than 1% of the people that watch that ad to buy something, and it's profitable. Hugely profitable. You guys would be shocked.
You guys would be shocked to know the acceptable click-through rate for ads. Like,
well, I did the math.
Like
so check this out.
0.1% is like a success.
Oh, what's up,
that's
Travis?
Amazing.
So I did the math on this. Check this out. So Travis Cook, a friend of mine in chat. So
layers of ad block. You're still gonna
check this out. Yeah. So an advertisement today. Now this is by today's money, not yesterday's money. So it was a little bit more before. But CPMs are like $3 per 1,000 monetized views, meaning 1,000 views of people that aren't running ad blockers. That's $3. If you think about it, just selling a single like keyboard that I have here, just like a single keyboard, if I can get one person, if I make a review on this keyboard, if I can get one person to buy this keyboard, my profit on it is like $23 or something like that. Mm-hmm. So if you think about that at $3, right? 3, 6, 9, 12, see 24. So 8x the amount of money. So 8,000 views. I'd have to get 8,000 monetized views with people not running ad blockers, which if you think 50% of people run ad blockers, it's 16,000 views. All I have to get is one person to buy a keyboard out of 16,000 people watching a review.
Did you all decide to hibernate?
Yeah. Uh-oh. Hold on here.
How thoughtful.
The AI is like running off at the mouth.
Who?
The party's starting.
You don't hear that?
And we're leaving you behind.
The AI is chatting. Hold on here. I'm trying to shut it up.
Some serious FOMO.
I hear nothing.
Don't blame us if you miss all the fun.
Hold on, let me see if I can figure out where the sound channel is so you can hear it.
I'm gonna make my own PeerTube instance at some point. Sure, I'll have to look into that. I've heard PeerTube tossed around a bit. That's like some sort of blockchain YouTube thing, right?
Yep. Hey, that was weird. So you could not hear that?
No, I didn't hear anything.
Oh, that should have came through on. Oh, did I mute it? Hold on, let me open up the other channel because I was like, if you can't hear that, that would suck.
I feel like more people buy products from sponsors, influencer marketing than Google ads because the ads are more relevant to the content. Yes, and Google ads are still some of the most successful ad spend that you can do. I would say from what I have known, from what I know, as I'm actually learning about like social media advertising for work, but I'm only just barely starting into it, so I don't have a lot in that. But so it's consumer opinion, anecdotal, but also like what little I have learned about social media advertising, which includes like Google ads, AdSense, and things like that. Google ads, spending on Google ads, especially if you're selling a product.
Testing. Can you hear me?
Still the best. Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, good.
Still the best ad spend that you can do right now. Facebook is right close second. Facebook advertising, which really, really your most successful advertising is going to end up on Instagram. But yeah, Google ads, although they're getting into a little bit of trouble for that. Because I think they were like, they were spoofing numbers, I think, but also like serving low quality ads. Low quality in the sense that like they were showing ads to people who were unlikely to actually perform the action that the ads were meant to accomplish, and charging people as if they were high quality ads. They're going to get into some big trouble for that. It's still probably your best ad spend. Google first, and then Facebook a close second.
Yeah, what is this untargeted ads?
No,
what is the effective YouTube?
To me.
Wait, I'm echoing?
Yep. Not an echo. It's like two audios. One is like a quarter second off. It's not quite an echo because it's not repeating. It's more like you're speaking twice.
Hold on. Let me try this. How about now? Is that better?
That's better.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
all right. I didn't know this, dude.
Says, I used to spend around $100 a month back in the day on Facebook advertising, and damn, it was successful. 100%. And
they let you pick multiple audio interfaces in Video Ninja now.
Oh, neat.
There's checkboxes, so you can actually select like 5 audio sources and have it feed through instead of just one like before. I don't even know. I never noticed that till just now.
Graham, would you be willing to share your click-through rate? What your like how many, like your impressions versus actual clicks in just off the top of your head. It doesn't have to be real data. I'm just curious. I'm curious to know what you would consider as successful, and so that we as people in our audience can see just exactly what it means to be for a successful ad. Because I bet it wasn't even over 1%. If it was, that's like incredible. Like people would freak out if 1% of the impressions to click was like, that's amazing.
I ran a couple free ad campaigns back in the day on YouTube because they just give you, when you create a business website, they just give you free advertisement. And of the campaigns that I ran, I won't say that I spent like a ton of time setting them up properly and everything, but I feel like they did okay. Yeah. Like I feel like, obviously like I wasn't paying for it, but I'd say it was probably pretty close to 1%, like 1%. But still,
that's incredible.
That's great. Like yeah. What if I can get 100 ads out to people and one person actually clicks on it and goes and watches the video? That's great. That's like, I mean, I'm basically breaking even at that point and getting a new customer that could watch another video and another video and another video. Because that's the thing you got to realize too is the person isn't just coming, like if they come and buy your product, you're not just selling them that one product and then starting over with them. You're building a relationship, right? It's like a cost per acquisition of a customer. So like when you get somebody, same thing with YouTube. It's like if you can get somebody to watch one of your videos, the odds of them watching another one of your videos go up exponentially.
Right.
So now that person might watch 2 of your videos or 3 of your videos. Now they might like one of your videos and share it with their friend. Now a person who never would have found your video because they shared it with them because they found the video. So you create, it's like a seed, right? As long as you have the right foundation there waiting for them and it's the right content that they're looking for and it's not just going to scare them off like immediately, they'll come and watch that and then you keep getting value out of that relationship that you built. So even if it's a 1% turnover selling something to somebody, that 1% may end up telling friends and turn into 2% and 3%, and then they might rebuy again and again or buy the next version of the product. So without being advertised to at all, just basically just because of the brand acknowledgement and the brand loyalty. And so you end up building like this exponential curve. It'll just grow as long as you foster and foster, an environment that the person was attracted to in the first place, and you keep providing that and keep building on it, then you keep getting value from that relationship. It's like I tell people on Twitch. This is a great example. It's like Twitch live streaming. You have subscribers, right? Here on YouTube, you also have channel members, right? When somebody subscribes to your channel, there's a higher than likely chance that the next month, if they enjoy your content, they may subscribe again. But if they never subscribed in the first place, then you never would have got that sub, right? But now they might sub for 74 months or 80 months or 100 months. On Twitch, some of these people have been subbed to me for like over 80 months now.
Yeah.
And it's like 80 months they've consistently been subbed to me. So that one person, however they found me, whatever mechanism of advertisement or right place at the right time allowed them to find me, led to a relationship where they subscribed to me for 80 some months. Mm-hmm. And then in that 80 months, how many of their friends did they tell about the streamer? How many people did they communicate to? Oh, you got to come check this guy out or whatever. And then they came over, and then I got them to come over. And the inverse of that is when you lose somebody. It's like if you cancel a stream because you're not feeling good, and that's the day that the person would normally resubscribe. Now you're not there. They go to another stream because, they still want to watch. They still want to be entertained. So they go somewhere else, and then they give their sub to that person. And then that breaks that chain of custody. And now that other person is most likely going to get the sub from that point on. So it's like you can lose somebody like permanently, like even though they're still watching your content and they're still come back to your channel, just because of the timing, you just lost that customer, the subscriber. And it can be like super, super detrimental. It's like to get that back, like the cascade effect. Like if you're sick on a day, and this is why analytics are important and why I probably should look at them more, is like you could cancel a show on a day where say 5% of your entire audience subscribed on that specific day because of some subathon or some deal or some discount or something, right? If you cancel the stream on that day 30 days later, that's the day that everybody would have gotten your sub's over. Do you want to resub to the channel? Right. But because you didn't stream on that day, they all went to different channels. And then those different channels are like, hey, do you got a sub? Hey, sure. Yeah, I got a sub. Here, have my Prime. And then you lose them.
I think something that is underutilized that I have seen a few really big streamers do, but it seems to have fallen off. I don't know. Maybe if there's something behind that, maybe some news or whatever. But texting, SMS communities, SMS whatever. I don't know how else to say it. I think Ninja did it, right? Where like, oh, text me at this number, blah, blah, blah. And it's like 727-608-5892 or whatever. I don't know. That's not a real number.
So but like a WhatsApp deal but through SMS?
I mean, I've seen Gary V do it. I saw Ninja do it.
I wonder what services do that.
Streamers. Basically, it's like text this number, and it kind of goes through like a third-party service. But it's almost like signing up for a newsletter. But it's like it like shows up in your text box instead, right? I think that'd be an interesting way to sort of build a community as well. And it doesn't have to be SMS or like texting. You could do this on Discord or Instagram or something else like that. But I think the texting thing is smart because you're cutting out a platform. If Instagram dies or whatever, or Twitter falls apart, or you've built up like a Discord community and then suddenly something changes.
Yeah. I know a lot of people use email. A lot of people use email lists. That's becoming super popular again. Yep.
I'm shocked at how well like email advertising and email newsletters and stuff are still amazing. Like still really good spend if you're going to go that route too. But yeah, those sorts of things like David's newsletter of awesomeness, right?
Yeah.
It probably costs him more than he's making off of it at the moment, but at the moment, but like those sorts of things where it's a little bit more direct to your audience. Cause like, imagine, okay, in your scenario where like, oh man, I don't feel good. And like normally somebody would resubscribe. Well, what if you knew when that person subscribed, it's attached to their, and there's bots that I know you can do that you can set up to do this. Or
and you send out like a personalized message or email that's like, oh, hey,
man, I really appreciate, I appreciate that you subbed to me on whatever during this stream or whatever. You can personalize it or
like a reminder of sorts.
Yeah. Says, hey, just a reminder, next week your sub is coming up, and please, please consider using your Prime thing on me again or whatever the fuck, That'd be good.
Interesting. Yeah. No, that's a good idea.
Premium question from the content creator perspective. What effect does it have on AdSense to you? I'm curious about that too.
Let's see here.
Say everybody on YouTube had YouTube Premium. What would that do?
If everybody had YouTube Premium, then the amount of money you would make would be directly proportionate to how much time people watch your content relative to everybody else's.
So they do kick you a chunk of. So there's whatever.
It's all based on
100,000 subscribers to YouTube Premium. You get a fraction of a penny for the time. The time.
So this is the way it works. So this is the way it works. It's completely based on time. and it's fractional. So basically, let's say you pay $10 a month or whatever for premium. It's not that much. I think it's like $9 or $10. So let's say $10 just to make the math easy. If I pay $10 a month and I watch 10 hours of video in a month, right? And I watch 10 different videos for 1 hour. Each one of those creators of those videos will get $1. So they'll get proportional to the time I watch. If I watch 90. If I watch like 90% one person's video and 10% of another person's video, then it'll be a 90-10 split of that money. So one person will get $1, the other person will get the $8 or $9. So it's all based on that. Now, if I watch 1,000 hours, right, then it starts thinning out, right? Then I'm paying less per minute of content watched because I can watch unlimited content for $9. But if I just watched one video, if I paid $9 with YouTube Premium and I just watched one video that entire month for just a minute, and I didn't watch any other videos or any other content, the portion of that $9 that, YouTube takes its cut, obviously, but the portion of the $9 that's left over would all go to that one content creator because you watched 100% of their content that month. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But it'd be great if everybody did premium. It'd be fantastic because then everybody would get paid proproportionally to how much content people are watching on their channel.
Cool.
And the truth is, like,
for live stream, you get a fair amount of money? No.
No. The only way you make money on live streams is if people do like super chats and stuff like that, or I think that's what it's called on YouTube, right? The super chats.
Sprinkle from the ad, like the pre-roll ad before the stream loads.
Yep, the pre-roll ad. Like I think the most I've made on a stream, like in recent memory, is like $20 throughout the course of the entire live stream and all of its viewership for like a year.
Yeah.
So it's like, think of like $20 for all, and that's all the ads that ran pre-roll, post-roll, whatever it adds on to them, right? So it's not a lot. It really isn't. And then but that may change too. That's the thing. That might actually change because if YouTube is now forcing people to not use ad blockers and they're actively blocking ad blockers, forcing people to watch the ads. Mm-hmm. Now where it used to be 1 out of 100 viewers is actually watching the advertisement. Now you have 99 out of 100 viewers watching the advertisement. So that's going to boost CPMs like dramatically.
I don't know. Is it a thing in your videos? Can you choose when ads will roll?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, because then I think that changes something I had a thought of. That then
most people don't by default because it's a pain in the ass, but you can do it. Yeah,
I was gonna say YouTube creators need to be better about choosing when ads roll.
100%.
Because like if I have the choice and I can say, then
dude,
I can plan it. I can plan it in my video.
Exactly. I was just gonna say, just like we were saying with the TV shows earlier, you could say, "Hey guys, we're gonna be back just after a few moments from our platform sponsors or whatever," and then you could literally record that time index, like in your editing software, put a little flag there, and then grab those time indexes, go into YouTube's dashboard, and then it lets you literally paste the times into a box, semicolon delimited list of times when it plays an ad, and then it goes back to that second and continues. So you could totally do that, and you could even have some fun with it too. Be like, well, got to pay the bills, kids. Go take a shit or go get a coffee or whatever, and we'll be right back. And then they run whatever ad.
They're like, hey, you know what time it is? It's time to pay the bills.
Time to pay the bills.
And then it rolls into whatever ad the streaming the podcast service.
Actually, that brings up another good point. Is I love creative advertisement. Like Jay's 2 cents does a really good job with it with like his World of Warships.
Yeah.
I love like where he has the captain's hat on. He like breaks through the window like the Kool-Aid guy or whatever. Yeah, I like when it's entertaining. Like my favorite all-time advertiser on where I like the ads. Like I literally watch it for the ads. Is Internet Historian. Internet Historian does the best ads in the business because all he does is shit and trash all over the product, and they still pay him because he gets such a ridiculous amount of traffic to their product. So have you ever watched Internet Historian's ads before? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, you're there. Okay. Yeah. So Internet Historian, he'll do ads for shit like the worst products, like Raid Shadow Legends, right?
Oh yeah.
But what he'll do is he'll be like, "Hey, Raid Shadow Legends. Today's video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Are you a virgin that lives in your mom's basement? Raid Shadow Legends." And he'll animate it. He'll do like animated cartoons or whatever. And be like, "Yeah, you remember that last time you were looking at your aunt at the party like she was kind of sexy? Well, maybe you play some Raid Shadow Legends and that doesn't happen, and you won't regret your night." And it just goes on. And by the end of the video, it's literally like a murderer going through the city, like killing innocent people and burying them. And it's all ties back to playing Raid Shadow Legends. So it's like the worst ad in the world. But then at the end, it's like sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends or whatever. And they pay him and they keep coming back for more and more and more because they like his style. Like, even though he's trashing on their product, they love it because people are still going and downloading it by sheer volume out of curiosity. Man. Yeah.
It's like this. Oh, I wrote into this on
the NordVPN one was really fun. He did a NordVPN one that's absolutely fucking hilarious, dude. Where he's like, do you want to hide your internet browsing history? He's like, you don't want your aunt knowing about you downloading that donkey porn or whatever. Oh yeah. And he's animating graphics to it all happening on the screen. And you're like cringing. Kind of it's awesome.
Yeah, man. That's where I'm at. Like, if for some of our ads too, like if we ever got
Jay's
like
iFixit ads are great.
If we ever got like a regular ad spot from whatever the fuck the keyboard people that use Kinesis or
Kinesis.
I think it'd be so much fun to put some effort into a goofy or just some fun ad read like that. Because
like me calling you up like a telemarketer. Be like your phone rings, you pick up and it's like the split screen. And it's like, hi, my name is Barnacules. And you're like, Barna who? What? Yeah, do you like keyboards? Just do like a scripted deal where it's like, why are you calling me? And it's be like, well, why are you being such a dick, man? I'm just trying to sell you a keyboard. Jesus.
We're calling to talk about your keyboard in extended warranty. Oh man, there was but
that'd be funny.
Like you were saying, like it's bad. There's no such thing as bad press, right? There was it was like a TikTok I think I came across where somebody was like, why do people keep buying these broken ass games? Like Redfall came out, it's freaking bad and terrible and it's broken. The Jedi Survivor thing came out and it was janky, I guess I don't know. Diablo 4, people are super pissed off about it. And it's like,
well, Diablo 4 ended up just being pay to win, right? Like, didn't they have to like throttle that way back because people were bitching like it was so pay to win?
I don't think so. I think they were just I think that's more of an example of them catering to whiners, the people who complain, rather than really focusing on the people who are having fun and enjoying things. That's a whole different thing. What was the name of this guy? No, I think the guy you were talking about the advertising for.
Internet historian. I'll advertise him all day. I love his videos. I'll advertise it. He makes like one video a year too.
But people will, so like your guy was saying, he trashes on the app, but they still pay him because like people are still clicking on it. Is because people will buy the game to see the disaster, to like confirm that it's shitty.
Plus, it's his style. He's known for it. So his audience are very trolly. Yeah. So it's like they know that the audience knows that he's joking. Like they know he's being somewhat serious, but he's also like joking at the same time. And it makes it funny and like trendy. And then people, like you said, they want to play it for the cringe, right? Like, hey, look.
Man, this looks ridiculous. There's no way it can be that bad, right? And so, it's a similar sort of thing.
But it's all the really bad ads, too. Like, he never takes any of, like, the good products. It's always, like, the super high-paying, like the stuff that pays the highest money, which is the most deceptive usually, right? So he'll take stuff for like, like some drink supplement that's supposed to supplement your meal, and the guy's like on the TV like, oh my god, I'm so hungry, I want a steak, and there'll be like a steak in front of him, he's getting ready to take a bite, and then the server like pulls the steak away and throws it in the garbage and gives him like this shitty bottle of like Soylent and Green or whatever. It's like, drink it, you're gonna like it, but I don't want this, I stop giving that. You drink that motherfucking drink right now. It gets like really hardcore, and you're like, if anybody else wanted to do that ad, they wouldn't go for it. They totally wouldn't go for it because that's his style and because that's his character. That's considered trendy. Like, it's one of those things where it's like you're honored just to be roasted by the guy, right? It's like it's one of those things where it's like the business is like, dude, that guy roasted us so hard, that's awesome. It's like when you watch a roast of a celebrity, that doesn't mean that people don't like the celebrity. They're getting roasted because people do like the celebrity and they like watching them get torn down. So it's the same thing here where it's like, because he's tearing down Raid Shadow Legends and this and that, and he'll also do the thing where it's like so over the top. Like sometimes if he can't trash on it too hard, he basically goes so far over the top that it's unbelievable and embarrassing. Like, it'll be like, oh my god, this game will change your life, it's gonna save your marriage and send your kids to college, and you're 100% guaranteed by playing this game that you're not gonna be a virgin anymore, and it's like, and then it just goes so far over the top that it's like, okay, obviously this guy is being sarcastic, but then they still have to pay him because he hit all the bullet points. Which is actually kind of funny. I'm gonna try that sometime. When I have to start taking ads again, I'm going to do that. I'm going to meet every bullet point, but I'm going to do it so like facetiously and over the top that there is no way anybody can take me seriously.
Yeah. But
I'm gonna be like, oh my god, this video game, holy shit! Oh my god, I'm gonna be like the Diesel Brothers, where it's like, fucking Diesel Brothers, man. Oh my god, those guys. Oh fuck, like I cringe so hard because it's like, okay, here's these muscle bound dudes that like own fucking helicopters and like everything you could think of. These guys are not sitting down playing fucking Raid Shadow Legends on their phone, but every single video, you know, Raid Shadow Legends, we play it all day around the office. We don't get shit done ever because we're always playing. Oh look, he's playing fucking walking to the, oh, he's playing Raid Shadow Legends right there. Hey, get off your fucking phone and get to work, you know. And it's like, you know, none of them have ever even installed it on their phones,
right?
Like there's no way. And they're like, hey, if you come into the game right now, you can play with all of us for hours in the game. It's like, it's not them in the game. They've never even logged in.
Some of I see some of these Extreme Elements has like a bounty board kind of thing, and they have similar sort of, oh man, like it's like $600 if you can get 10 people to download the game and play it to this point. And it's like, I feel like one, I feel like my audience would not be like upset at me for doing it because like they know, hey man, I'm just trying to make a buck. But at the same time, it would be like that kind of an ad too, like, oh, play this for 2 hours on stream and stuff. Don't talk too bad about it. But it's like, who's really gonna check? Who's really gonna look at and like, you know, hey guys, come on, help me out, make this $600. Go download the game. Go download the game. We're gonna play for a couple of hours and help me out. Like, do they give a fuck if I like it or not? Or as long as they get the 10 people to download and play till level 10 or whatever?
Exactly. Bombardment. Hey, did you hear the sound effects?
No sound.
Ah, damn. You guys on stream, can you hear the sound effects? Let us know in chat if you hear the sound effects. I'm trying to figure out why old Ox over here can't hear the sound effects, because the whole point of me streaming the audio through Video Ninja is for him to hear it.
Times we were streaming.
Yeah, that's what I don't get. It's like, why is it doing that? So, okay, so OBS virtual camera is what's streaming to you. So if I open up this, let's say, okay, so virtual camera settings, internal, output type, output selection, program output default. That's correct. It should be outputting desktop audio. Okay, so yeah, Pixie Punk says she hears the audio. And you are getting my audio through.
I hear your mic audio at least, yeah.
Yeah, so you're hearing my mic audio. So why the hell is the system audio not coming through? That's what's bizarre. So I know they did make some changes to VDO, like where you can select multiple audio sources and stuff.
These are just awful mobile game ads. Okay, so like right at the top, Raid Shadow Legends. It says here, I don't know if this is against the rules or whatever, but it says earn up to just shy of $1,100. Let's see what I need to do to get that. So anywhere main goal between $42 and $200. Let's see here. Get 3 viewers to participate in the promotion and complete. I don't know if I'm supposed to tell you guys the rules about this stuff.
Wait, is this for Twitch or for YouTube?
This is through Stream Elements.
Oh, if it's through Stream Elements, you can talk about it. Stream Elements is not affiliated in any way.
You guys probably, if you use it, you can probably see the same thing. So
yeah, you're totally fine.
Get 3 viewers to participate in the promotion and complete Raid Shadow Legends level 12 and perform the following, blah, 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 blah. Basically, play the game, promote the game for 2 hours, advertise it in the panels for a day.
Oh, somebody getting murdered?
I think Doggo got doing something. Couple other things. Earn $42 for the first 3 viewers who participate in the promotion, up to $196. So everybody beyond that, blah 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 blah, can earn up to X amount, and then you earn a little bit more if everybody gets to level 25. So it's like, right? Like, come on, I don't know. Let's all, hey man, if 12 of you all join up and play the game with me for a couple hours and get to level 12, you know, that kind of stuff.
It's like a sliding scale too, I've noticed. Like if you go on oh, right here, wait, hold on, Video Ninja.
I'd get $42 if 3 viewers watched or participate in the promotion, so like play the game and complete the game up to level 12.
All right, I think I might have fixed something because it says Video Ninja AuxxZillary. It was set to monitor only mute output, and I just changed it to monitor off. So here, say something.
Hello?
Can everybody on stream still hear? Can you still hear him, everybody?
The secret word.
I think
is
they can.
Pineapple.
Pineapple. Oh man, isn't that sad?
What?
Old Pee Wee Herman passed away.
Oh yeah, man.
That's like that. That makes me sad. Like he was old Paul. Was it Rubens? Paul Rubens? No, Rubens.
Yeah, something like that.
Is it Paul Rubens? I think it is. Freaking awesome guy, man. Like seriously, my childhood was like changed by that dude. Mm-hmm. And then he touched himself in a movie theater and people got mad. It's like, come on. That's what you do in those places, okay? Come on. Have you never been to one of those places? Jeez. Oh, they can? Okay, good. Yeah. So
there's quite a delay though. It's like a good almost 30 seconds.
Between us and chat, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it. Which I don't get, because on Twitch it's like less than a second.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll have to figure that out. Here, I want to see if you can hear the AI now. Here,
somebody super chat.
Barnabot, what is 10 plus 10?
Barnabot is thinking. Stand by. Beep boop beep boop.
Damn
it. I hear it coming through the mic, like your speakers or your headphones was being picked up by the mic.
Yeah, everybody on stream can hear it.
AI to tell you that 10 plus 10 is 20? Maybe next time I'll calculate something mind-boggling, like 1 plus 1.
Yeah, the weird thing is, like, I'm sending you the output from the virtual camera inside of OBS, which includes the audio stream from my desktop audio and mic. So and I'm watching the meter, like, while it's playing, like it's playing it out to the system sound. So I have no idea how the hell you can't hear that. No. It's so bizarre, but you can hear my microphone.
Yeah.
So what I'm wondering is, like, if there's a device, do I have to select an audio device that's like, okay, so video source is OBS virtual camera. Do I have to set the audio source to virtual camera? Let me see if there's a virtual camera here somewhere. So voice mod, virtual audio, voice mod microphone, virtual audio, Rode multi-channel, voice mod microphone, virtual audio device. And then there's Rodecaster Pro, and then there's no audio. And then for output destination, it goes to Rodecaster Pro stereo. So it doesn't even allow me to select, like, it lets me select the camera, but it doesn't let me select the audio from the camera. And maybe that's the problem, because you're hearing me through the microphone through the app, but you're not hearing the audio feed from the virtual camera.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering how the hell you do that now with this new layout that they have.
Here, maybe I can open up a new one.
Yeah, because I want to figure this out, because it's cool when you can hear everything. That'd be because
where did Twitter go?
Someone can ask Barnabot things.
The icon. I don't know what fucking Twitter looks like anymore.
Dude, they have noise gate, compressor, auto gain control, echo cancellation, and noise suppression now on the audio feed. That's crazy.
When I go to join the room, there's like a little down arrow, and then there was a button. There's a button that says add your microphone to OBS.
Interesting.
Maybe. I mean, that might be.
Yeah, what I don't get is there should be audio, like, associated with the output from OBS. Like when sorry, I was talking around, the thing was like so there should be a thing when I start the virtual camera. Here, let me stop the virtual camera and restart it really quick and see what happens.
Now I hear myself a bunch.
Yeah, now you're echoing. What'd you do?
Yeah, because I added my microphone to OBS. I clicked that button.
So you have to undo that.
There. Oh, I just closed the tab for it, but I don't know.
Yeah, so I'm looking at it right here. So okay, so I restarted the output source, so that should be showing up in video now. Again, here, let me see if I can pull it up here. Where's video? There it is. Okay, so I'm streaming there, and then I can mute. Okay, mute scene, unmute scene, copy solo link. And there's solo talk, highlight video off, blind deafen. I've got my microphone on. I've got system, mute the speaker. No, I don't want to mute the speaker.
I would like to know why I have doubled audio channels in OBS. It's sometimes a little weird. The audio mixer will pick up like other stuff, and you just like disable those. I don't know. It can be really weird.
Yeah, this is so bizarre. So yeah, I select the OBS virtual camera, but you know what? I'm going to check device manager really quick and see if I disabled one of the device drivers that does this, because I remember, no, I didn't. Damn it. So what it should be doing, like as I understand it, what it should be doing is when I select the video source as OBS virtual camera, the audio source, instead of selecting the microphone so you hear me, I should be able to just select the audio source from OBS, and then you'd be getting the audio from OBS, which would be everything mixed together. Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out like why OBS isn't sending the audio out through the virtual camera like it normally does. That part I don't understand. Oh, yeah. And then if I select like no audio, here, hold on. Okay, now you can't hear anything. So it's dead. Okay. So now you hear something. And then I can do voice mod audio device. I have two of those. I have a voice mod virtual audio device and a voice mod virtual audio device WDM. I don't know what the hell the difference is, but if I select that, can you hear me?
Yeah,
that's echo. That's echo, right? Okay. Yep. Now how about that? Does that sound better?
It does. You're louder now too.
Oh, good. Okay, so this is me shunted through voice mod. So now I can do like the creepy voices and shit. Like if I want to sound like the doll.
I think.
What's going on? You okay?
Yeah, it's okay. I thought there was something going on, but it's
okay. It's like, oh no, what's going on, Mr. Bill? Mr. Bill,
you're desynced now, though.
Oh, is my mouth not moving with the audio?
Just a touch. Yeah, the audio's like ahead of you, just a touch.
How about now, though? But at least now I can do the voices. See, so now you sound like this, and I can sound like
a cop. Like this is what a cop sounds like, apparently. So yeah, if I want to do voices and stuff, I have to do the voice mod audio device. But you're saying if I go back through the normal, so if I disable that and I just go through here, then I'm back in sync. Like if I disable this, okay. So now I should be sunk again. So I'd have to go back through and add the delay.
I don't know.
Is it still doing weird shit? Okay.
I'll
just leave it alone. It's fine. About to get a Raid Shadow Legends DM. Oh my god, here we go. No, I do get a lot of them. I still, even to this day, even though I've turned them down like a million times, I still get every 2 or 3 days I get at least one Raid Shadow Legends ad thing.
Right, you're probably just on a list and it just pops up, you know.
I'm sure I am. I'm very sure that I am. Let's see here, video. Oh, you know what I just noticed?
Yeah, I'd probably promote War Thunder. Like that'd be cool. Like there's nothing sketch about War Thunder. I would do that.
War Thunder is actually pretty fun. I actually played War Thunder and I thought it was decent.
I played War Thunder a little and World of Warships a little bit too.
So I just upped my resolution to 4K. Did that make any difference to anybody? Like on the stream? Like I just noticed that. I was
Everybody's watching at 720p.
That was weird. Why the hell? Oh well, I've got bandwidth for days, so it doesn't matter. Speaking of which, you got your new internet connection. Tell us about it. Let's hear it, bro.
I mean, it's fiber, right? 935 symmetrical or whatever it is.
Hell yeah.
Technically, I'm on Wi-Fi, but it's still like, because it's Wi-Fi 6, it's like whatever 500 megabits.
It's still super duper fast.
Yeah, man. I was downloading Baldur's Gate 3 at like, I think it peaked here and there at 50 megabytes a second or something, but it averaged around 30 something, which is pretty decent. It's nothing to sniff at. So
it's crazy. I've been downloading stuff from like Xbox, especially like the Xbox downloads. When I go in there, 108 megabytes per second. Like I'm like, whoa, like it's just crazy. It's almost like having a hard drive on your NAS or something on your network. Like it's that level of speed.
Yeah.
And no, I've been loving it. I love that it's unlimited too. Like there's no bandwidth cap. Like I've already eaten like, I think it's like 7 or 8 terabytes in 3 weeks, which is already 4 or 5 times more than my max that I did on my old internet connection.
Damn.
No throttling whatsoever.
Yeah,
so I love it.
How much data I had pulled down just from my TV. It was like 600 gigs or something already.
Wow.
And it's only been like 2 weeks.
Yeah, the thing I like is like I can share files now with people directly. Like I used to not do that. I used to like upload to like Dropbox and be like, oh, here, go get it here. And then I take forever to upload to Dropbox. Now it's like everything just uploads instantaneously. I can set up file servers directly. What's that?
What's that? Oh, there was something that popped up by my head. It says Big Papa Panda. There was something on that was crazy.
Wait, what?
Just a couple seconds ago when I said just before I said 2 weeks on the YouTube stream. Hold on. Yeah.
Did anybody else see that? Because I didn't see anything.
There, right when you were talking about the Xbox downloads when I go the 108 blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like if you rewind just a few seconds, like a minute maybe now, a minute and a half. There's a thing up in the upper left corner that says Big Papa Panda HP 600 out of 1200.
HP 600 out of 1200. That's weird.
I can
is there a Big Papa Panda in chat, or is that like
big? It's not big. It's just like a little like a health bar in the upper left corner of the. This is just something I just strangely noticed. Here, I'll share the tab that I have with you.
I wonder if that was like something that bled over from Twitch.
Do you see
weird?
It?
No, I don't see anything on any of my screens. Video. Let me open up video here.
I'm sharing it.
Okay, let me open this up. Video. Nope, that's not video. Sorry, I got like 20 windows open. Okay, I can see it now.
Work? You see above my head there?
Oh yeah. Why isn't that showing up on stream?
It is.
It is.
That's what I mean. That's a shot from the YouTube channel.
Big Papa Panda has.
Did something.
Where is
it? Must have been like a Twitch integration. Something happening.
It must be. It must be because I'm like, there's no Big Papa. I don't think there's a Big Papa Panda in chat.
That's like funny. That just strangely just
so weird.
Sorry to interrupt the flow, but like,
no. I'm just trying to figure out like where the hell this came from. No, what's making that really weird is like I have OBS open on my box right now, and that is not in my OBS. That is not composited in my OBS.
Maybe it was on mine.
Are you overlaying something?
I should no. It's just the face cam in OBS. I have nothing, and then the virtual cam, of course. Like going
this
into,
is so weird. Yeah, because it didn't show. Did you guys see it on stream? I guess some people said they saw it, right? Yeah, HP 600 and 1200. They saw it.
The thing is, it wouldn't make sense that it was on my side because
is it still there?
Have no, it's gone. It was only up for like 10 seconds or something. But you have my canvas is cropped, so like if it was on my end, it wouldn't have even been in the window.
You're right. You're absolutely right. So something on my side.
Weird.
Maybe it's this Hype Boss thing, Stream Elements Hype Boss.
Yeah,
something.
Yeah,
that's
Hype Boss.
Yeah, that's an overlay that I have enabled as Stream Elements Hype Boss. But the weird thing is, like, I'm looking at the events on Stream Elements, and there's nothing in there. It's back! I see it. Big Papa Panda 600 and 1200. What the shit?
Dude, that's like funny.
Oh, it is that. Okay, so it is the Hype Boss.
Funny. That's cool.
So something caused this Hype Boss thing to get enabled.
Somebody.
Here, let me see if the chat works. Is this the chat for actual?
Yeah, this is for us.
Okay, this is our chat, so we can put
way
this
behind though.
Yeah, it's like 30 seconds behind, right?
No, like way behind.
Oh man, I gotta do some work on this.
That was fun. That was
an interesting kind of thing. Well, shit, let's get into the. Yeah. Oh my god, we're streaming at 51 megabit. I keep forgetting that I'm streaming like so much bandwidth, dude. Oh my god. That's crazy. So I'm uploading like 4K. I guess we're streaming at 4K 60.
Whoa.
Is that true? Can you guys actually select 4K 60 as like streaming quality?
Whoa.
If so, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Yeah, Gabriel said, yep. Oh my God, that's nuts. So here, let's talk about the superconductor material, man. This got both of our Chinese tingling if it's true.
Yeah, man. This is pretty neat.
So who here knows what a superconductor is? Like here, let's get some chat on this. Give us your best description without looking it up on the internet of what you think a superconductor is and how it would change society.
I will what's the word? Recuse myself from this one because one, I've read a bit on this particular topic.
Both of us, I have. Yeah, we're cheating. We're totally cheating.
I had a general sense of what a superconductor was anyway.
So superconductors, if you guys have ever seen like the magnet experiment where they like freeze a superconducting material down using liquid nitrogen, and then they put it over a magnet, and it literally gets quantum locked, so it like hovers. Like if you've ever seen that experiment, but they have to keep the puck like ice cold. They have to keep pouring liquid nitrogen on, otherwise it falls off, right? They also did that cool commercial with like the skateboard, that hovered over the track of magnets, but it had to be like super cooled with liquid nitrogen. So that's a superconductor that does that. Superconducting materials do that. They can basically, it's called quantum locking, I think, where it locks itself in space of a magnetic field. But it also means that the reason it does that is because electrons flow through it with zero resistance or near zero resistance.
Yeah.
The reason that's such a big deal. Oh man, Altonian, thank you so much for the $5 super chat, dude.
I never realized that LK-99 was a room temp superconductor.
Never realized LK-99 was a room temp superconductor.
I thought Elon Musk had another kid or something.
Yep. It actually did read that out. I just wish you could hear it. Yeah, so a superconductor is basically a material that electrons can flow through without any resistance.
Right.
And why that's so important is because resistance creates heat. It's waste, right? When you push electricity through a material, the more resistance the material has, the hotter it gets. The more of the electrons get wasted as heat and get converted to heat. With a superconductor, nearly nothing gets converted to heat. It all gets transferred with like perfect efficiency, or I should say near perfect efficiency, because there's like slight differences. To be a superconductor, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfectly zero. It just has to be within a certain range to be considered a superconductor. But with superconducting materials, imagine having a wire that's like the size of a human hair, transmitting a massive amount of voltage without heating up, without getting hot to the touch, and without burning or melting, like a copper filament. Like a good example would be like a light bulb uses a tungsten filament. Tungsten has a lot of resistance in it, right? It's not like copper where electricity flows very freely, or silver where electricity flows really freely. It's very a lot of resistance.
Incandescent bulbs,
right?
It's the tungsten heating up.
Exactly.
That is what is making the light.
Yep, same thing with your toaster oven or the burners on your stove. Yeah. They're all made out of metals that have high resistance, so that the majority of the current that flows through it gets converted into waste heat to cook food and to heat a house and stuff. Right. So with a superconductor, if you replace that material with superconducting material, it wouldn't even heat up. The electricity would just travel through it flawlessly, and there'd be no resistance, and it wouldn't get hot. The reason why this is so important and changes the entire world is because when you don't have resistance, you don't have any heat. That means that you can make microprocessors, in theory, where all the traces on the microprocessor were a superconducting material. You could have thousands and thousands of watts of power traveling through the CPU without any of it being converted into waste heat, or very little of it converted into waste heat.
Dude, just think of like how the extreme overclockers do, and they push things to like 6 gigahertz, but it's got to be like negative 250 degrees kind of thing. Yep. They would be able to do that without cooling of any sort.
It'd be wild.
We'd be back to like the early 286, 386 days where like you could just have a bare CPU with no like heat sink or anything on it, and
like just the ambient cooling would be enough. Like the air just over the CPU would be enough to transfer the heat away from it. It would be so minute. And so you'd be able to make cars with, hundreds of pounds less wiring, right?
Oh yeah.
You'd be able to manufacture batteries with hundreds of pounds of less material, because you'd be able to transfer all the electrons between the wafers and the layers and everything like that without needing these big, huge, bulky, garden hose size wires that get super duper hot. You'd also be able to charge a car very, very fast, not infinitely fast. Like there are limitations to it. I forget what they call it, but there is like a Q number where even through a superconductor, you can only transfer so much electricity before you basically hit a wall, depending on the material. But it's infinitely more than the materials that we have today. Like I think they said that a superconductor is like 60 times, or it's either 60 or 600 times more conductive than gold.
Right.
Yeah, so it's like which is like, I think the resistance or whatever they said, it's like gold, silver, and then like copper is like the number 3rd. And copper is what we use for everything, right? Copper is considered like our conductor of choice for all electronics, pretty much. And so imagine having a material that can conduct electricity like 60 or 600 times better. I don't remember which one it is. Everything scales way down really, really fast. You also get like you said, the processor stuff, microelectronics get even smaller.
Yeah. Right.
It's like you don't have to worry about like all the stuff they have with like crosstalk and stuff like that, where the wires start heating and they start warping and touching each other and stuff, like on silica dies, where the pathways themselves start burning, like physically burning. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to evacuate that heat away from it. And if you can push more current through it, then you can have more traces closer together, right? You can, which would shrink down the processors. Now you might even have like a processor, instead of like 5 micron or whatever, it's like 0.3 micron. 0.7 micron. It just keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller, which means you put more and more cores, more and more cache, more and more memory. But the thing is, again, we have to remind everybody that there's a reason why room temperature superconductors are theorized to not be able to exist, right? This is kind of in the face of this violates the rules of physics. But it doesn't really, because this new superconductor doesn't work the way as any other superconductor does. Well, the reason this thing's able to do what it does is because it uses a whole different method. I don't really understand it, but it's not like normal superconductors where you heat them down and freeze them to get the particles to move slower through the material so that they're not banging into electrons and absorbing all their energy. It uses a completely different technique entirely to allow the electrons to flow through it, which is why it can, superconduct up to like 200 or 300 degrees or something like that. So it's not just room temperature superconducting. It's like hottest day on Earth outside in the sun superconducting. Yeah. Which is pretty damn, impressive, considering most people... Patrick saying LK-99 is already debunked. I haven't seen that.
Not to a scientific level yet. No. I was just reading through some of this stuff, and literally there's a quote that touches on this. It says where does it say? This is from some Chinese thing, I think. It says, however, while positive results can come quickly, negative results are slow, as falsification needs to verify all possibilities, and it will take a lot of time. So maybe yes.
Like Wendell said in chat, he said, "I'm cautiously optimistic." Yeah, that there's new material science.
Even if this doesn't work out as like a room temperature, ambient pressure superconductor, I think that this is going to advance some of the material science, as level 1 tech said there.
Yeah. Apparently, the people involved are all reputable too.
Yeah, I think
like this. This isn't a bunch of like flim flam people. These are like respected scientists in their fields, and they actually have a piece of the material that they manufactured that demonstrates like a form of quantum locking at room temperature. So
even there was some local U.S. Some university recently with they were able to get some time on a DOE supercomputer. And the simulations are promising. Something about where was it? Hold on, I want to get the right words here. There's where is it? Something about flat bands in the something about, and that's related something to the Meissner effect. Something about that, and like the simulation looks good. So again, even if this isn't like the holy grail room temperature superconductor thing, I do think that this is going to make some big interesting results. I think that we're going to find some cool stuff is going to come out of this, even if it's not the fucking like super amazing stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's already the sample that they have is already demonstrating magnetic properties that we don't see in other materials at room temperature.
Yeah.
So the thing that they created already does something that other materials don't. So even if it's not a superconductor, even if it can literally just quantum lock on a magnet at room temperature, that would still be a huge breakthrough, like a huge breakthrough.
Even if this is a super cool like advancement in electronics and stuff, like if this might have applications elsewhere, even if it's not a superconductor like they're hoping. I do think that whatever they've done here is going to make a big difference in electronics and things like that. And I think this is moving the science forward, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I think the thing that has me the caution, I'm cautiously optimistic because the people involved aren't flim flam, right? A lot of these breakthroughs that you see are people that are no name, have never published anything, never involved with anything. The people that have already looked at this to like some degree with a skeptical eye have said there's something here. So it's not like the guys are like, oh, hey, I figured out how to make, a car that drives on water, without like mentioning that it requires a shitload of electricity and it's massively inefficient. And you have to have some catalyst chemical hidden away somewhere that's allowing you to efficiently separate the hydrogen and oxygen. Not that kind of shit, right? It's like they do have a sample of material that demonstrates interesting properties. And they are willing to let other people, outsiders, like test it and confirm it. Yeah, and they're going through and they're going through the process of making sure that it's protected. Like, why would they spend millions and millions of dollars trying to protect it before they're allowing anybody to look at it to make sure that they're the ones that are, that control it and have the rights to it? Right. If they know it's bullshit, right? If they know it's bullshit, they just try to make money off it immediately.
Yeah, I think that lends some credibility. Yeah, they were quick to publish. They were quick to like patent and stuff, and like there was a couple two different versions of the paper coming out. But I think there's some talk about they did that because you can only get up to three people can get a Nobel Prize for one particular thing. So they released that other, like the first paper had 6 or 8 people on it. The second paper came out and it only had 3. And they did that because for Nobel Prize possibilities. And I think to get ahead of, probably other labs that were doing similar sort of work. And like, they wanted to be first to market kind of a deal. Where was it found? I want to say it was South Korea. This was a Korean thing.
Yeah. Also, somebody said, wouldn't graphene be a better material? No. Graphene graphene is still good. It superconducts at a higher temperature than a lot of other materials that have to be cooled down, but it still requires a significant amount of cooling and pressure to superconduct. And that's the problem. That's the problem is we have lots of superconducting materials. The problem is the superconducting materials have to be cryogenically frozen to be superconducting. And the amount of energy that you need to continuously cryogenically cool something to make it superconductive then makes the mechanism inefficient. Like quantum computers require superconducting. Quantum computers have to be cooled down to, I mean, like they're colder than the universe. Like we actually have supercomputers on Earth that is colder in the chamber than it is in the universe. So anywhere in the known universe, that is the coldest place. We've created that synthetically. And think of it like, a refrigerator that's able to pull out so small, minuscule amounts of heat that it's like even just the open universe with not a sun for a million light years is still hotter than this space we've created here on Earth. And that's just to get that superconducting behavior. for the quantum computer. Now imagine if we could do that at room temperature. Now quantum computers are no longer require these huge cryogenic freezers that are using liquid helium and shit to get the temperature down, and exotic materials and stuff to get the temperature down. You'd literally be able to create something you could just plug into the wall that would sit on your desk. It'd be much smaller, much more efficient, easier to manufacture, provided that the superconducting material wasn't super inefficient to create and very expensive. Because that's the problem. That's the problem that you have with quantum nanotubes, right?
Sure.
Graphene nanotubes. It's like
the mass quantity of it is.
It's amazing.
Really
it's an amazing super material, going to change the world. The problem is we can't manufacture it at any amounts that really we can do much with, and it's so astronomically expensive. Like, for instance, there's a great video. I wish I could remember the name of the YouTube channel. It's this guy and his son do all kind of experiments out in their garage, but they were showing what happens when you mix graphene in with concrete and other materials. And just taking basically what was it? They were basically creating graphite tube, nanotubes, these little carbon nanotubes using graphite. And then they were mixing it in with concrete, and they were getting the yield strength of the concrete to go up by 600 or 1,000% just by adding a tiny amount. It wasn't like they were adding it by volume. It's a couple sprinkles of this carbon material into the concrete. And then when the concrete sets, the concrete is 600% more load bearing. And apparently they do have this structural concrete where they do this, where they do mix the carbon in with it to give it its strength for certain applications. But it's just astronomically expensive. And it's because to create these little carbon nanotubes or whatever, you have to do flat or no graph. It's carbon nanotubes. Or I think it's just graphene. To create graphene, the process to create it, it's so energy intensive. Like just to create a tiny little bit, you have to they use this process called flash graphene, and apparently this is the most efficient process. It's already 1 million times more effective than the other processes that they have. But still, you only get these itty bitty amounts. They had to run 24 different runs of this material in their lab just to get enough to make the one sample to test it.
Right. And
because they couldn't buy it because it was so freaking expensive. It would have cost them literally thousands and thousands of dollars to buy the amount that they were able to create for $100. Short liquid helium. So cool. Got it.
Yeah.
No, liquid helium is going to come at a premium as we move into the future, right? I mean, we use liquid helium to cool medical equipment. We use it for MRIs and stuff like that. Have you ever seen an MRI when they hit the emergency button and they blow it out and it's $100,000 in liquid helium? Man. So if there's ever an emergency, if you're ever in an MRI and they forget to take off your necklace or whatever and it starts strangling you to death, it's actually not that bad. I've actually wore a ring in there before. It burned my finger a little bit and made it red, but I survived. I thought it was going to be way worse because you watch the movies. It's oh my God, it's going to kill you.
It's not.
It's not as bad as people say, but it's if somebody hucked a steel-based chair in there, it's going to kill you. But they'd have to get it close enough that it's going to grab it and pull it in. The magnetic field drops off a lot.
Yeah, it's more about. It's like when you put a copper or an iron rod between a coil of copper.
Yep.
It can heat up because of the magnetic field that is being created by
it's an turns your ring into an induction furnace, basically.
Kinda, yeah, right. Isn't that the way that something like that. It's not that it's not gonna rip the steel plate out of your head. It's not whoochang.
Right. I didn't even feel a pull on my hand. I just felt my hand get hot, and I was I was on the comms with them, and I'm hey, my hand's getting a little hot. Right. And they looked on the camera and they're oh God, you didn't take off your ring. And I was oh no. And I started panicking. They're don't worry, it's fine. Just let us know if it gets too hot and we can shut it down. But just let us know, it's fine.
I guess that makes sense. But so it's more about the current. It's it's the field. The magnetic field is running current through your
so it got uncomfortably hot, but they didn't stop the thing because it would have taken another 45 minutes, so I just let it burn my finger. It wasn't terrible, but those machines are filled with liquid helium, and so if anything goes wrong, if you're you have a panic attack inside of the MRI machine and they can't get you out of there or whatever, and the magnet's fucking with you, they hit a button on the wall and it vents all the liquid helium outside of the building through a stack. And it's $100,000 of liquid helium to recharge the thing. It's crazy expensive. So, and then you look at things like the Large Hadron Collider and stuff, where it's the entire loop is filled with liquid helium. Helium is becoming a rarer and rarer resource, and liquid helium by volume is an insane amount of helium. So it's just going to keep getting more and more expensive, and pretty soon we're not going to be able to use helium anymore. It's what do we use when all the liquid helium's gone? And the problem is you can't get it back, right? It's like, how the hell do you get the liquid helium back? Because it's so light, it basically just floats up off of that and then sublimates off into space. So it's like every time it comes out of the ground. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
Once we have fusion created is fusion.
You're right. You're right. You're right. As soon as we have fusion reactors, we start making our own helium, right?
Literally, we're manufacturing helium that way. Yeah,
that is true. Because it'd be the second lightest element.
Yeah, you smash helium together or hydrogen. Together,
yeah, hydrogen. You get helium.
Hydrogen, helium.
That's right. So
the very next one. Yeah.
So I wonder, could you create a hybrid fusion fission reaction where the fission is breaking down the material down to its most basic elements, and then the fusion is putting it back together again? I'm wondering if there'd be a way to create some kind of a loop. I mean, it wouldn't be the full periodic table, obviously, but I'm wondering if you could create a loop where you break it down to a light enough element that you can then start using fusion to build it back, and you could basically just get an infinite circle of fuel. I mean, it starts sounding like perpetual motion, which makes me go, that's not good, but it makes me wonder.
The fusion reaction can only smush it together to iron. After that, you need a supernova to get heavier elements. So, like,
I mean, we can already create like the coldest place in the universe on Earth. So who's to say we can't create like the tiniest, minuscule little micro black hole that has that kind of energy?
I think that's how that works. It's like the core of the sun is iron. It'd be a big ball of iron at the core of it, right? Don't take helium lightly. Yeah, this guy.
Oh yeah, MRIs. Yeah, that's funny. No, MRIs wouldn't. If MRIs didn't need liquid helium, they could make portable MRIs.
Yeah,
like you'd have a portable MRI, it'd probably be the size of a laptop or whatever, with like an emitter, and you could go and scan somebody anywhere. Yeah.
Well, you'd set up like a weird hula hoop, and that's it.
Because you don't need the liquid helium. You don't need you've got the superconductor. You don't need the liquid helium to get the superconductor. So, and I mean everything that would change everything. That would change. CT scanners would be forever changed.
Fusion is where we get helium. Fission's tearing the atoms apart, like the atomic bomb, right? Thermonuclear bombs is fission. You throw something at the your one explosion throws something at something super dense, and it
not quite. Right? So a nuclear bomb is fission. A thermonuclear bomb or a hydrogen bomb is a fusion fission hybrid bomb. So like in megaton bombs, that's thermonuclear. I know I watch a lot of shit on nuclear.
No, because the sun is an ongoing
thermonuclear reaction. A thermonuclear bomb. The reason a thermonuclear bomb, which was what Fat Boy was. So remember when we hit Nagasaki and everything.
There's been a difference between the atomic bombs that we dropped on
bullet
Japan
type
versus
bomb?
the nuclear bombs that we have now.
So the bullet type bomb uses uranium-238. You're basically just compress it. You're just basically compressing it, getting everything together so you have a critical mass, and then it blows up and you get a big explosion and kilotons. That's a fission bomb. With a thermonuclear bomb or an H bomb, a hydrogen bomb, what you're doing is you're using the fission bomb is the trigger to set off a plutonium bomb, which fuses into hydrogen. And that creates the megaton level explosion. So you're basically using like the baby fission bomb is the primer, like on a bullet or on a grenade, to light off the bigger plutonium fusion bomb. Okay. So, and I didn't know this until just recently. I just watch a lot of shit about bombs after Oppenheimer movie came out because I really want to see it. And so I didn't know that at first. And that's why when you see bombs that are measured in megatons, like the ones that went off like Castle Bravo and Tsar Bomba, those are fusion bombs. Like the fission lights off the reaction, but the actual reaction that creates the megaton level of explosion is actually fusion with plutonium.
Yeah, let's dig into that. I clearly had a misunderstanding and a mix-up of
So imagine a bomb where the only way to set off the second stage of the bomb, like the light the gunpowder, if you will, is a nuclear explosion. Like you actually need the tiny little nuclear bomb to set off the big ass nuclear bomb as the trigger. And because it's the only thing that can compress it. You can't compress the plutonium enough with conventional explosives to get a critical mass. However, with the nuclear explosion, you can create enough compression and heat to then create a critical mass out of the plutonium, which is an order of magnitude, like many more orders of magnitude more powerful. So now you go from a bomb that's like the trigger bomb might only be like, 1.5 or 2 kiloton, like an itty bitty little bomb. Well, nuclear wise, 20, what is that, 20,000 tons of TNT or whatever, 12 or 20,000 tons of TNT. But that's the bomb that's compressing the plutonium core that's creating the hydrogen bomb, which is the fusion. And the fusion is what creates like the big bang. That's the big boy. Yeah, and it's crazy how they work. It's literally 2 nuclear bombs inside of one bomb. It's like you got the little fission bomb, that's the bullet type bomb, and then the whole inside of it's foam. Like they use a special type of foam that turns to plasma. Like when the bomb lights up, it turns it to plasma, and then the neutrons that fire off of that first one bombard the plutonium as it heats it up and compresses it, and then that creates enough neutrons. It basically becomes the neutron source that creates the critical mass and the runaway reaction in the plutonium, and then that blows up. And that's how they can tune them. Have you seen the tunable bombs where it's like they can set the yield?
Literally like a dial on it.
It's literally dial a yield. Like, do I want anything from like 50 kilotons up to like 20 megatons? You can do that just by turning a bomb with the same amount of material, and all it changes is the timing.
It's like a shittier reaction.
Yeah, it just changes. Yeah, you're basically just
or whatever.
Yeah, you're basically just making the bullet type bomb weaker. And then that in turn makes the megaton level fusion bomb much weaker.
Yeah, it's like because it burns out quicker, or it doesn't have as much oomph. Oh, weird.
Yeah, because that was the big problem that they had is like during World War II when we wanted to get Japan back for the whole Pearl Harbor thing. When we were developing the nuclear bomb, is we only had enough material. Like everything we did with all the cyclotrons and everything that we were using, or actually we weren't even using cyclotrons. We were just generating, we were purifying the uranium through like a super slow source that hasn't been used in decades, right?
Terrible back then.
Yeah, it was like super slow. They only had enough material for one test and one bomb. That's it. Jeez. And so they're like, well, that's not enough because we need to build a whole bunch of bombs and drop a whole bunch of bombs. So they're like, well, what else could we use as fuel for a bomb? And they're like, well, we could use plutonium, but they couldn't figure out how to get the plutonium to light off. So, but then they figured out that, that's Oppenheimer's big aha moment is, we can take the fission bomb, and we can use that to create the energy and the neutron source that we need to make the plutonium go boom. Bonkers. And then when they lit that one off, it was like, oh shit, what have we done? Like that was like the big one. That's like, oh, this is, and like sky's the limit. Like 100 megaton is completely achievable.
Well, yeah,
so like I guess the Russians, when they did the Tsar Bomba, like they actually designed that bomb to be 100 megaton yield, but then when they did their testing, they were like, if we light this off, this could seriously fuck things up. So they backed it off to 50 megaton, and it still did an insane amount of damage with like the biggest mushroom cloud felt all the way around the world. I mean, imagine a bomb so powerful that every single seismometer on Earth could pick it up. That's crazy. That was Tsar Bomba. Like Tsar Bomba like broke windows like on buildings hundreds, like 400 miles away or something like that. Windows were shattering. Crazy shit.
Don't eat that.
So yeah, and now they're saying that like you could even exceed, in theory, you could even exceed 100 megaton. Like with the current technology that we have and the current refining techniques that we have, you could even exceed that, because you're basically, to build a nuclear bomb is actually fairly simple. The hard part is the precision in manufacturing it. Sure, so the actual bomb itself, it's like all it is just a for a conventional nuclear bomb, a fission bomb, all you have is just a sphere of uranium-238 that basically has a hole bored out in it, and then the center is I think it's beryllium, a neutron source. They basically put a little neutron pellet in the center that's giving off neutrons, and then those neutrons all go out into the surrounding uranium and create a reaction. It actually generates heat, right? It actually is warm to the touch, but it's not enough to create a critical explosion, right? It's reacting, but the reaction isn't runaway reaction. You need a runaway reaction to get a boom. So what they figured out is if they put that neutron pellet in the middle and then, fill it around so that you got, a 10, I think they said that for a critical mass, you need like 10 or 11 kilograms of uranium. But and you got that little bead in the center, then you just wrap it in explosives. And the trick is you just have to get all of the explosives to go off at the exact same millisecond. Because if one is even slightly delayed, all that pressure will just blow out the side and it won't compress the sphere. You need that explosion to compress that sphere and get all of those atoms close enough together that the neutron source in the middle, it basically gets pushed up against that neutron source, and then that neutron source starts a runaway reaction. And that's when everything lights off, and the thing just like, in fractions of microseconds, the thing just boom, you got a huge explosion. Wow. And so then somebody figured out that's like, oh, well, we could do the exact same thing with plutonium, but with plutonium, you need a hell of a lot more neutrons. You need to compress it a hell of a lot more, and conventional explosives can't do that. So they're like, well, what if we use the nuclear bomb that uses the conventional explosives that then create the explosion to compress the bigger plutonium bomb. And so, you know, so it's just, that was the next stage. And then they're like, oh, now plutonium can be fuel. And since plutonium is a byproduct of all of the nuclear reactors, it's like infinite amount of ammunition, right?
Right.
Because now you can create all these nuclear bombs. And so most nuclear bombs that are in service today are either of two types, right? They're the fission bombs that are in the kiloton yield, or they're the hydrogen bombs that are in the megaton yield. Those are the ones. Yeah. So, and megaton is like not to be fucked with, right? Megaton is, oh God, that's like, what would it, so a megaton would be what, 100?
That's 1 million tons of TNT.
It's like, yeah, it's basically 1 million tons of TNT. Yeah, and that's for 1 megaton. And our biggest explosion, I think that America's done, is like 20 or 23 megaton, I think, with Castle Bravo. And that was way bigger than it was supposed to be. That was the one that like fucked up the Marshall Islands and stuff forever.
They were saying they goofed up something. They missed something about a lithium reaction, and it exploded way bigger than they wanted it to.
Yeah, it was literally by like a factor of 3 or something like that.
You didn't do the math right, and you could have split the world in half or something.
Well, look at the explosion they did in the desert. The very first, the gadget. When they lit off the gadget, it was like 6 or 7 times more powerful than what they were expecting. That test was supposed to be a small nuclear explosion. It was huge. They were like, oops. And then the Russians go light off like the 50 megaton explosion. It's like, holy shit, because they just wanted to prove to the world that they could have the biggest dick, you know?
Have you read Ender's Game? Or
I haven't read. I've watched the movie. Yeah,
watched the movie. Similar. So the end of Ender's Game, and if you haven't read it or don't know what I'm talking about, this is not spoilers. It's like a 30-year-old book or 60-year-old book. It's a fucking old ass fucking book.
Even if he told you what the movie meant, you'd still have to watch it to understand.
They have
it's
this
very out
special
there.
weapon at the end where it's like it blows one thing up, and anything that's caught in that explosion explodes in the same way. And it like, and he's like, well, what if I point the weapon at the planet? Like, what if I hit the planet with this weapon? Because it just causes humongous, outrageous fucking chain reaction. And it's like a similar sort of thing. It's like, man, you guys were going down this path and didn't check your math quite right. And it's like, man, at that time, who knows what could have happened? Like, nobody knew what they were doing. They were just doing math and hoping for the best. And like, they missed something, and that could have like caused some outrageous nuclear, just some weird runaway reaction, and like the whole world explodes.
A small
group,
the
atmosphere on fire or something.
No, that was it. A small group of scientists really thought, they actually had a bet at was it Los Alamos or whatever. They had a bet that it was going to set the atmosphere on fire. They literally thought that this chain reaction,
the gadget would start an endless chain reaction. That makes sense, because who knows, right? Who knows? This is all brand new science stuff, and they didn't know what was going on.
They said when they set it off that the explosion and the violence of it and everything were like so far beyond what any of them had anticipated. Like, they knew it was going to be big. Like, they knew that if it worked and the conventional explosions lit off a reaction, that it would be immediately apparent that it wasn't just a conventional explosion, that it was a nuclear explosion. But the amount of explosion that they got out of the gadget was far and beyond what they expected. Like, it was massive.
Hydrogen bomb from Mars ice cap. That's a whole different thing. But whatever they call it, geoengineering Mars is not going to work. It doesn't have enough of a magnetic field to protect the atmosphere.
Yeah, we'd all have to live underground.
Yeah, there is no terraforming Mars.
Yeah,
it doesn't have the protective magnetic sphere to contain. And please correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know where that's coming from exactly, but that's what's in my brain. And so sometimes I'm wrong.
Yep. Hey, well, you don't know the best way to find out if you're wrong is to put the information out there and have it challenged.
I tend to qualify some of my what I think are authoritative statements when I don't. When I say it and I can't, and it doesn't bring up an image of where that information is coming from, I tend to like, am I making this up? Or am I twisting something I heard somewhere?
Yeah, like when it's coming out, you're like, wait a second, this doesn't sound right now. All of a sudden, it sounded right in my head, but
the whole Total Recall, like, oh, we'll melt the ice caps on blah blah blah, or even like I've heard that as why not nuke Mars and like create an artificial like winter, nuclear winter, so that there's like blah blah. I don't think that would work, because I don't think.
Without the magnetic,
the core of Mars is like not spinning as fast as it should, or something like that, to create
without the magnetic field. There's no way. Like, you would never get life to survive on the surface of Mars.
Yeah, thanks, DG,
unless it was insanely like resilient to radiation, which we don't have a lot of shit here on Earth that is. So it's not like we'd have anything to take over there to grow and be like, oh, here, let's create a lush forest of radioactive resistant plants and stuff. But we still wouldn't be able to eat them or do anything with them, even if we could, right? So,
hey, I'm totally down for an underground Mars thing.
Yeah,
like, just dig deeper.
So James Janus said he was asking you thoughts on sex change surgery and how it's coming out. Apparently, people are having chronic complications. Well, no, I'll head that one straight on. People modify their bodies every single day.
Oh, I guess in that sense, yeah.
It's like
deep into the
don't worry about the politics, the politics of it, I guess, or the social. No. Yeah. People have a right as adults to do whatever the hell they want,
and complications are going to happen from. Surgeries.
It doesn't matter what the surgery is. People have complications literally from vasectomies. They have complications from eye surgeries. Surgery implies that there can be complications, unfortunately. But it's a risk-reward situation, right? Yeah. If somebody is making the choice to do that, they understand the risks. Like that's like the one thing. Yeah, just like anything. You go to the doctor.
Jobs, rhinoplasties, whatever.
Yep. Anytime you go to the doctor, I mean, shit, what was, I can't remember the name, Joan Rivers, who died from like a neck surgery or something. Like she was literally just getting like her neck trimmed or something and she died from anesthesia. I mean, it's like.
My Achilles surgery could have gone wonky and I could have lost my foot or something. Like there's all kinds of bad.
The most dangerous thing in surgery is going under anesthesia. Like seriously, the thing that kills most people isn't the operation, it's the anesthesia that usually kills people.
Coolest experience as far as like medically thing, like that was so neat.
For me, that was like one of the biggest pivotal moments where I like religion stopped making sense to me, was actually experiencing what it was like to not exist for like 7 hours.
They were not joking.
Like literally not exist for 7 hours. That was the weirdest sensation ever.
So cool. He was telling me, the anesthesiologist was like, you know, we don't do the count back thing. Like it's like when I tell you we're going to start the juice, you won't feel it coming. It will literally be blink and you're awake 5 hours later. Like you will not notice. As far as I can tell, I don't recall like fading out or because like I think they give you a little thing to kind of make you like and then they really knock you out. And it's like,
yeah, they give you Ativan first, which makes you give zero shits. Like they could stand over you with a chainsaw and you'd giggle at them.
I remember that feeling a little bit.
Yeah.
Man, wait, hang on a second.
He is just a whiner, isn't he? That is the whiniest dog ever. Oh my gosh.
Like he wants out of the office, but like I think he pissed somewhere and we just had the carpets cleaned like a week ago.
Oh no, so he's literally in the doghouse.
Yeah, he's like being locked up in here with me as like a punishment, but for fuck's sake, man, like, and he's still kind of a puppy. He's only like 9 months, so like I'm trying to balance my frustration with him being like, he's just a baby.
I mean, so it's the cutest little noise, but it's just like sustained. It's like, dude, give it a break for like a minute.
To be fucking annoying, like, just like baby cries and stuff. Like they're built to fucking get your attention and irritate you on purpose.
And it works, dude. It absolutely works.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah, time jump. It was like blinking. Literally, I was like there, and now I'm over here. Like
it is. Wow. And the funny thing is, you remember everything up to the point where it's lights out. Like literally, it's like 1 millisecond passes. It's just like
it was like blinking.
Yeah, to me, it felt like somebody turned off a light switch. Was what it felt like me. Like when I woke up, that's what I said. I was like, "Hey, why are the lights out?" And it's like, "Oh, hey, Mr. Berg's waking up." You know, dude, I'm like, "What? What do you mean, Mr. Berg's waking up?" I literally, because to me, what it felt like is I laid down and they told me to count backwards, so I did. So I was like 10, 9, 8, and then it was like lights out. That was it. And then I was like, hello, hey, the lights go out, and the lady said, oh no, he's waking up here, he's coming around, and I'm like, what the shit? And then my wife was like, oh my god, I was worried because you were in surgery 3 hours longer than you were supposed to be because they had to like do some shit. I guess it was hard to dig around and find stuff in my fat, but whatever, they found it.
It's so, it was so cool.
But I could not believe it. I went back, it was like dark outside. When I left, it was light outside. When I got back, it was like dark outside, and it was supposed to be like a 2 or 3. I was supposed to be like in the afternoon. When I came back to the room, it was like 9 or 10 o'clock. And I was like, it was just weird, dude. It was so weird. But yeah, anesthesia is just, it's a trip, man. It's like, because it's not like sleep. It's not like sleep at all. Like when you go to sleep, even if you don't dream, like you do, you definitely feel groggy. Yeah, you feel groggy and drugged. But for me, it wasn't like, when you go to sleep, like when you're super exhausted, you go to sleep, because you still sense a passage of time. Like if you nod off and you wake up, it's like you still sense like a little bit of time pass. Even if you don't dream, you're like, I know I went to sleep. With anesthesia, it was like I don't even have a memory of me closing my eyes. I don't have a memory of me getting tired. All I have a memory of was 987 lights off talking, nurse saying that I'm waking up hours later.
Yeah, like
that was weird.
If I had been in the middle of a sentence, I could see where I would have finished the sentence 5 hours later. Like,
yeah, seriously, like, there
was no fade out. There was no fade to black. It was literally instant.
Did they have the lights out in the room when you woke up too? Was it dark when you woke up?
It was still in the afternoon. It was still
okay. So that when you came, okay. So for you, it was like surgery, and then you teleported somewhere.
Right. Yeah, I was in a different space.
See, for me, they had me in the dark, so I just thought the lights went out. Like, but I can't even imagine what it must have felt like to just be like, you're laying on a bed, and then all of a sudden you're waking up in your bed back in your room, like, in an instant.
And no dream. There was no dreaming.
No dreams. Like no dreams at all.
Here says like, they forget the best dream I ever had. Yeah, there was no dream that I can recall. Maybe, I mean, I don't often remember my dreams anyway, so like, maybe, but
they literally shut down all your brain activity except for what's basically driving your organs. Like you have no dreams, you have no memory, nothing. And the funny thing is, like, some people even like have woken up during anesthesia before and don't remember it. Like they'll literally wake up on the table where they're like flayed open and the dude's like pushing in massive more drugs and they're like freaking out and shit, and they have no memory of it when they wake up. It's like completely a weird like autonomic response.
What do you have to say, Mr. Winston?
Little whiner. You can do some whining for us?
Yeah. You gonna say something? You got something to say? Huh? Here.
Come on.
Here, we're gonna put you on the stream.
Let's do it. Let's whore him out for a super chat. By the way, Altonian, thank you for that £5 super chat, dude. We really do appreciate that a lot, brother.
What's Jerry telling you?
I'm just whining. I was just making whiny noises. He's looking at me all sad, like, why? Why do you mock me? Why? What have I done to you?
I love him though. He's cute.
Bradley said, I wish it was like that for me. Surgery. Woke up in the middle of the surgery and felt like I needed to throw up because my gut was open and I looked down. Well, that anesthesiologist should be fired.
Yeah, that's
like
sketch.
Like you should have no memory of anything happening. They definitely fucked up that anesthesia.
Man.
Because you're supposed to have throughout the entire operation, the dude's job is literally to sit there and monitor you and to completely control the flow of everything in real time.
Yeah, that's sketch.
Like if your breathing starts getting like shallow, they're supposed to turn up the ventilator a little and, thin out the thing, push oxygen to wake, to get you a little more conscious and then pull it back. They're always balancing it.
I do remember as I'm casting my mind back. I do remember because they had to put a thing. And I was like, I remember telling the guy like, hey, is this gonna work? Because like I got this beard or whatever. He goes, don't even worry, and then boof.
Yep.
Or that I think is the last ish thing I can recall.
Yep. And I was lucky
and he just like kind of smooshed the thing on my face, and
I remember my voice was raspy because they extubated me before I woke up.
Oh,
so I felt like I had something. My throat was like really dry and kind of scratchy, and my voice was a little fucked up because they put a tube down into your lungs. For the breathing machine, because sometimes the anesthesia makes you a little loopy, so they have the machine breathe for you. Oh yeah, when they're operating on you, they have.
I guess they must have, right?
So for me, for my appendix surgery, they had me fully under with a ventilator. Like they basically have you on a system so that if you start like fading or too much anesthesia or whatever, the machine can take over breathing for you.
Okay.
So
that makes sense. They may have done something like that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And sometimes they don't extubate you until after you wake up, just in case you need it. But luckily for me, they pulled it before I woke up. So I was like, yeah. The
block thing was super cool. Like they showed me, they let me watch, like so they're doing an ultrasound and they're like, okay, see that little dark circle? That's the main nerve in your leg. And we're going to go in here with this fat needle and we're going to squirt this stuff all around that nerve. And in just a sec, like your leg's going to disappear.
Yep.
Basically. And I'm like, what? And exactly that. It like, it blocks the signal back and forth. And it
they do that for women too when they're giving birth. They'll give them something called an epidural.
I learned it's the same kind of thing. They basically paralyze you from the waist down.
Yeah, it's a medication called it's a paralytic, and it's like a nerve blocker that just completely stops the talking to your brain.
It's the same kind of thing. Like I had to get my teeth like deep cleaned initially because like I was a bad kid and didn't ever go to the dentist and stuff. And that was a trip too. They're like, okay, we're gonna do this first needle. this one's gonna suck because it's like it fucking needle.
the burning one, yeah.
Ow! And then they go in with a second one, and like half your face
it's just gone.
Like, just disappears.
Yeah.
And like it was such a trip. I went to McDonald's and I got a breakfast
fucking
sandwich.
Novocaine, man.
I took a bite of it and I'm chewing it on one half, and then I pass it to the other side of my mouth.
Yeah,
and it's just gone. There's just no signals. It just disappears.
You have to actually be careful eating when you get to the dentist, because I've had blood come out of my mouth before because I started eating too early and I'm just chewing on my cheek.
You will absolutely chomp. They warn you about that too. Like,
yeah, because
really
it makes everything swell up. It makes everything swell up, so like your cheek will push into your teeth, and you'll be like just chewing. You'll think you're chewing on food, but then on the other side, you're literally just chewing on your cheek, and it's like bloody and ripped up and shit. So
man, that kind of stuff was so fascinating to me. I loved yakking with the anesthesiologist about the whole thing, and
I have super really slow metabolism too, so when they give me Novocaine, it doesn't wear off for about 8 or 9 hours. Most people wears off in like 2 to 4. I gotta do it for 8 or 9.
That's cool.
It's not when you're hungry though, because you're like you can't eat. You got to drink everything. It's like ugh.
It was so neat. It was I don't know. I love that kind of stuff. We already talked about that, James.
Yeah, we already hit that. I don't know where you must have went to the bathroom when we talked about that.
It's okay.
See,
that's how we got talking about anesthesia and stuff.
Well, I mean, now knowing what you know,
it's not just sex change surgeries. It's any surgery is going to come out, and people are having chronic complications after surgery.
Any surgery, you're going to have that. Yep.
I guess what I don't want to be crass or offensive or anything, but it's sort of an elective surgery in the sense of that it is not like required to save your life kind of a thing, like you get appendicitis. But again, I'm going down a weird path. I'm not trying to, whatever. People do what they want to do about how they are, whether it's boob jobs or nose jobs or sex changes or whatever.
No, it's just to make yourself feel more comfortable in your body, right? It's like some people have like, body dysmorphia in the body that they were born with, and they want something that better aligns with how they feel mentally, and they're willing to take the risks. And if they are willing to take the risks, and then it's all them, right? I mean, but any surgery, doesn't matter what it is, even something simple as like a boob job. 1 million boob jobs get done all the time, but there's still people that die from the anesthesia. There's still people that'll die from an infection. Like they'll get a boob job and they'll get a staph infection from it and they'll die. And so there's always risk. Anytime you're opening up the body and you're doing anything, even if you're fixing something like a cleft palate, it's like people have died from that. People have died from being stitched up from like superficial wounds. I mean, it just depends. Like if you get any bacteria in there, or some people are very, very sensitive to anesthesia. This is one thing that like anesthesiologists are the most sued people in the medical business, because they sometimes will give anesthesia to one person that's like, oh, this guy's going to handle it. No problem. This dude's like big. He's healthy. Got strong lungs. They start giving him a tiny bit of anesthesia and he just fucking checks out and can't breathe anymore. And the machine has to take over. And they're like, holy shit, we can't ever give him. We got to put on his record. He can never have this form of anesthesia again. They got to switch to a different one.
That was something too. They asked a lot of questions about like, you're allergic to this. Have you ever had any reactions?
Are your parents allergic to this?
This is my first time, bro. Like your guess is as good as mine. I have no idea.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, no. Lucid, I was talking about that earlier because I have to get a vasectomy and I'm actually terrified of it. But I do have to get one. So,
oh man, yeah,
it's all just.
I want to do that too. There's a guy up in Seattle, I think, called Dr. Snip, and I've heard that you get a pocket knife at the end of it.
It's that's hilarious! Like a little
like Swiss Army knife kind of.
You know, what'd be funny is if they gave you the scalpel that they do the scalpel with it, and then they put it in like a little case, like a locked, like they give it to you to put on your
shadow box with the
exactly.
Scalpel
it's like
this
is the scalpel. They cut your nuts like sitting on your little mantle. It's like give it to your wife so she can have your balls in her purse.
That'd be so cool.
Make a keychain out of it. It's but yeah, like vasectomies in my case, it's something that I have to get because my wife can't get pregnant again, because if she does, it'll kill her and the baby. She cannot have another child. So I got to be super careful about that.
I don't think that's his actual name, but that's the name of like his
funny. His first name is really Doctor and his last name is Snip. That would be hilarious. Like his parents picked his career.
Yeah, I think the name of his clinic is Dr. Snip.
I'll tell you what. How about we save a couple of bucks? You do my vasectomy and I'll do yours. I got bat knife right here, all ready to go.
Man,
Look, I'll sterilize it. It'll be fine, man. It'll be fine.
Nah, if we're gonna do that, I'll just rather spend some money on an ultrasound machine and just beam my nerds every couple months, because that's a very effective method too.
No, I heard about that. I haven't looked into it to see how expensive it is, but it's kind of cool how they can do that.
The same wand that they do for like looking at babies or any other sort of ultrasoundy thing that they do. You just hold that on your nerds for like 15 minutes or something, and you're like sterile for 3 months or something like that.
Yeah, it fucks up the mechanism, and you can't. You don't make live sperm anymore.
What? It's not super. I'm sure it's not.
You can buy the device too. It's like a device you can buy and like have. I just don't know how expensive they are.
One of those ultrasonic
Amazon
like jewelry cleaners and just kind of teabag that.
Let's see here. What would you even call a machine like that? Like a sterilizer ultrasound. Here, let's see here. I want to see how expensive these things are. That's a heat sterilizer. I don't think I want that on my nuts.
Check it out.
Okay, let's see.
$1,000 for not even $1,000 and get an ultrasound machine for pregnancy. 3.5 megahertz veterinary B ultrasound.
Oh, you can just hit yourself with just a regular ultrasound? Oh, I thought you had to have like a special frequency or something.
You just got to go down to the local farm supply, I bet. But there's one on here for $650. I bet it's the same. It says 3.5 megahertz. I bet this is the exact same thing that they do for humans. Because why would the device be any different for a cow?
All right, let's see here. Okay, many men would like to take on more responsibility in the matter of contraception. Let's see here. What is it? But the options are limited.
This is the weird
ultrasound-based, reversible and hormone-free male contraceptive device for home uses temporally modified, spermatogenesis. How it works. Yeah, okay. The user puts water into the device up to the indicated mark, which is set together with your doctor according to your individual testicle size. Then the water is heated up to the operating temperature. The Costco device is ready for ultrasound treatment. The user spreads his legs and sits down in a place. Places his testicles in the device. The ultrasound process continues for a few minutes. The remaining time can be monitored in real time via the Costco app. It's literally COSO, like COSO app. After the treatment, the device switches off automatically. The technology of the COSO is based on a study from Parsons Foundation in 2012, in which successful research was conducted on ultrasound contraception. So far, the procedure has been applied to animals. Therefore, the technical parameters are hypothetically transferred to humans. And how do I buy this device, man? I want it.
It says a 3 megahertz. So just quick little thing from the National Institutes of Health. The 3 megahertz ultrasound treatment reduced total epididymal sperm count tenfold. So this Amazon thing is 3.5 megahertz. You just beam yourself every couple weeks and you're fine. What happens if you mutate something? You end up. It's not ionizing radiation.
No. It's literally just using
DNA.
No, you're literally using hyper out of hearing spectrum sound to vibrate things. You're just basically bursting the membranes. Yeah, you're basically just like I guess you're just irritating the membranes and everything like that, so they can't produce sperm.
Neat.
Yeah, but no, I'd rather have this than a
therapeutic ultrasound is a potential male contraceptive power, frequency, and temperature required to deplete rat testes of meiotic cells and epidemides.
And you don't ultrasounds don't hurt at all either. They're completely
using a commercially available system.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ultrasound my nerds, dude.
Holy cow!
Why are we getting vasectomies? Let's just ultrasound our nerds, man. What are we doing here?
Yeah, right. We found that 3 megahertz ultrasound delivered with 2.2 watt per square centimeter power for 15 minutes was necessary to deplete the spermatocytes and spermatids from the testes, and that this treatment significantly reduced the blah blah your sperm reserves. 3 megahertz for treatment reduced total epididymal spurt count tenfold lower than wet heat control, and decreased motile sperm counts 1,000-fold lower than wet heat alone.
So the thing I'm looking at here says that it's a combination of ultrasound and a warm water. So it's the mix of it.
That's what it is. You're heating up the environment and it kills them.
Yeah.
That's wow.
So the ultrasound is just like working the heat into your testicles or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I need this device.
I think so. I think that's the way it sounds like.
Here, I'm going to eBay right now to see if I can buy like a Chinese knockoff here. Let's see here. Testicle ultrasound.
The low sperm count was achieved when the coupling medium, 3% saline, was held at 37 degrees, which is 98.6. That's your body temperature.
That's your body temperature, yeah.
So held
Well, that's why your testes are outside of your body, is because your sperm do die at body temperature. Yeah.
So the coupling medium. So like you were saying, salt water was held at 98.6, and 2 consecutive 15-minute treatments of 3 megahertz ultrasound at 2.2 watts per square centimeter were separated by 2 days. So you go in, or you do it one day, do it the next day.
Dude, I'll lay down my iPad with my balls in some warm water vibrating for a couple hours.
I thought about that because like when I'm driving, I'll sometimes I'll like sit on it, right? Or if I'm passenger, I'll tuck my phone like between my legs like that.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that like has any effect. I know like when I've seen reports of like when women will like keep their phones in their bra or whatever, they run the risk. Which makes sense.
Like you're wondering if like the transmission, like the frequency transmission from that is causing sterilization.
Which makes it, I imagine it would have some effect because like I said, like holding a cell phone in your bra has shown to increase risk of like breast cancer and stuff because it is a highly targeted, high energy radio frequency being beamed right at your boob, or in this case, your nerds. Yeah. So like, why not? Right. That's how that kind of thing might fuck with your DNA and stuff because, obviously cancer and whatnot. But crazy. And so, Justin, it is a temporary thing. This is not a permanent.
Yeah, you do have to repeat the procedure. Every
couple months or something like that.
But it also means that it's reversible because once you stop doing it, it's like you can still have kids if you want. If you decide down the road, if you're like 80 years old and decide you want to plop one more out. I'm looking at the cost of ultrasound machines. I'm actually pretty surprised how cheap they are.
I saw $650 to $1,000.
I always thought these things were like hundreds of grand, dude. Like this isn't.
I bet you could probably go down to like, I don't know if Dell's Farm Supply still exists, but there's a couple farm.
I mean, all the ones that are for sale are all advertised for animals, but it's like, dude, if it works on a fucking horse, it'll work on a human. Like
it's like I said, a 3.5 megahertz machine on Amazon. They used 3 megahertz, so why not?
Yeah, dude, I'm on eBay right now. $700 for a portable animal ultrasound scanner, medicine, handheld pregnancy, animal, veterinarian plus probe.
That's crazy, man.
They all have like screens on them and like full laptops and shit. Like, I mean, this is like the real deal. The more expensive ones look like they're about $1,300, but they come with like multiple different instruments for like different types of ultrasound.
Yeah.
Dude, I didn't think you could get an ultrasound for this because I'm just thinking of all the shit you could use ultrasound for, right? Not just on humans. We could like ultrasound like materials and walls and stuff and like see what's going on inside of shit.
Vasectomy that's true. Yeah, vasectomy isn't necessarily permanent either. True. That's
like
true.
The one that does the Doppler, like the 3D imaging, $4,000. You can buy one that does the 3D imaging of a baby or whatever.
Dang,
that's crazy. That. I mean, it all looks like it's straight out of Taiwan and like a brand you've never heard of, but
they probably all are.
They are.
Your freaking doctor's office is probably the same one.
Oh, you can get a bladder probe, although I think that's for like a horse. I wouldn't stick that in my anything. Oh God, that thing's huge. Jesus Christ. $100 for a bladder probe for like a dinosaur. Yeah, I'm not going to be using that. Man, there's weird shit on eBay,
that's
dude.
Crazy.
It's just crazy. Check this out. Portable diagnostic, 1 scan engine ultrasound console system. This is like an old one from like the 80s. $164. Buy it now.
Love it.
Oh, it says parts only. Damn it, it's broken. It looks like an old school. I mean, the styling on it and shit looks like a Samsung Discman from like a Sony Discman from like the 80s. It's like all purple and shit. But yeah, $160. You know what I really want though is an oxygen generator.
Oh yeah,
I want one of those so bad. Just to help, just not to use it like all the time, but just like I have trouble breathing sometimes. And for CPAP therapy, I sleep like shit sometimes and don't oxygenate well when I sleep. And it's like, man, if I had an oxygen generator that could just put out just a tiny bit, it doesn't have to be like full supplemental, but just like a slight, just little bit of oxygen to just mix in with the CPAP while I was sleeping at night, I would wake up and feel so much better.
I'd pump the office. I'd pump my office full of it. I'd be jazzed up and doing all kinds of work.
Dude, oxygen's great. Like, have you ever gone to Vegas and just sat at like the oxygen bar for like 10 minutes? It makes you feel like $1 million fucking bucks, dude.
I've heard, buddy of mine used to work at a fish store and they'd have tanks of oxygen in the back. And yeah, you'd take a big
back there huffing them.
Big breath full of pure oxygen. Holy cow, man. It is.
Yeah, because you're only breathing like 3% ambient oxygen. Like if you start breathing even like 20% oxygen concentration, you're gonna be high as a kite, man.
Yeah.
You're gonna super oxygenate.
It real wakes you up. You feel real energy.
Yeah, because I've been in the doctor's office before when I had bronchitis. What is it, like bronchitis or whatever? Oh no, pneumonia. It was walking pneumonia, and my oxygen was like at 89 or 90. And so I was struggling to breathe. So they let me do this nebulizer treatment. And then after I did the nebulizer treatment, my oxygen was even lower. And they're like, okay, we probably should get him on some supplemental oxygen. So they just brought in an oxygen bottle and stuck it on me for a little while, pegged it at 100. Like I was literally struggling to breathe because of the infection in my lungs. And I was like 87 to 89 oxygen level. They put on that oxygen mask with the little O2 meter on my thing. I was like, breathe it for like 2 minutes. And my oxygen was at 100%. And I was pegged and I was breathing easy again. I was like, oh, this is awesome.
I don't think so.
No, oxygen is pure oxygen is dangerous. It is dangerous.
Yeah, over a long period, I imagine. Yeah,
so
but
it's poisonous to your optic nerve. So, and I only know this because my son was in the hospital on 100% oxygen for 3 months when he was in the NICU as a baby.
Thing,
yeah, and they said that they don't. Now what they do is they actually have a machine that fluctuates the oxygen so that they try to give them as little as they need to survive. Because if they just crank it at 100%, almost always their eyes are severely damaged when they get older.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but you also have to like breathe like concentrated 100% oxygen for like literally weeks for it to do permanent damage to your optic nerve. So it's not a fast process. But yeah, if you're breathing 100% oxygen like all the time, like the early astronauts were or whatever, like for weeks at a time in a capsule, yeah, you're probably gonna develop some optic nerve issues. So let's see here. They banned the use of pure oxygen and fragrance on the Vegas Strip. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Are you serious? So you can't do oxygen bars anymore, like pure oxygen? Oh, that sucks, man.
I think what Graham is referring to is them pumping it into the HVAC. I know that they have oxygen bars because the last time when I was at NAB, there in the hotel there was a spot where like you'd sit at the thing and you'd get a little nose jobby, and they have like flavors and stuff. They had a bar for it. I think maybe it's the pumping it into the HVAC. They're not.
Okay, yeah, because I know they do pump I heard that they did pump oxygen into the casinos because they want to keep you going, right? They want to keep you like alert and going. And oxygen does that. Like it literally, like it's like caffeine almost. Wow, I'm looking at some of these oxygen. Okay, so oxygen, hydrogen, gas, flame generator, $138. My guess is that's probably not for breathable oxygen, because you want one that has like a proper filter in it and stuff. But they're kind of expensive. Like I think the ones like for a portable oxygen generator that'll give you like I think it's like 10%, 8 or 10%, which is still pretty high. I mean, way higher than what you're getting ambient. It's still gonna be like $600, probably $500 or $600. So, but God, I want one. Hey, if any of you guys out there in Chatland have an oxygen generator laying around you're not using, like hit me up because I want some oxygen. Might put a little spring in my step. I know you can buy like canned oxygen, like I've seen people buy, but it's so fucking expensive. Like a single can that has like 8 huffs in it or whatever. Yeah. What is it, Perrier or whatever it was?
Perrier. Yeah.
No, I remember that shit. Correct, Ox can't pump into the casinos. Why? Why did they ban pumping oxygen in the casinos? That seems weird.
Because of the people. I'm sure some people had adverse reactions or something. It's dangerous, like you were saying, right? People's eyeballs melting or whatever.
Yep.
Or helium for when people scuba diving. Yeah.
Yep. That's only for going really
nitrogen, deep. Nitrogen gets weird under high pressures, so they have to do helium.
So the nitrogen bubbles get into your blood. So the deeper you go and the more pressure it is, the nitrogen bubbles still perfuse into your blood, and then as you come up, the bubbles get bigger and bigger and bigger, and they can blow out your blood vessels. So what they do is they replace it with helium, and helium doesn't expand like nitrogen does under the pressure differential.
What kind of bullshit? I don't want to go out of a forest for oxygen.
Or just go to the forest.
Come on, well, I mean, in the Pacific Northwest, my shit is oxygenated as fuck. Okay.
No, I'd say we probably have we're like near sea level and decent oxygen here, but there's just something to be said about pure oxygen. Like pure oxygen, like when people that do Tour de France and shit, they like huff pure oxygen for like hours before they go get on the bike, and your blood vessels will store it up over time. So it's like even if you stop taking pure oxygen, you still see the benefits for it for like hours afterwards. I want to try it.
There's ways to with certain breathing techniques, you can hyperoxygenate your blood. That
that I've done. That I learned those techniques.
The Wim Hof method and stuff. Yeah,
it's very familiar.
Similar effect.
Yeah,
not as powerful, I imagine, of course, but like because you're still only getting a certain like small percentage, and
it seems super counterproductive. But like when I was having the breathing problems, I was doing breathing exercises, and like one of the breathing exercises, you take a really deep breath. And then you hold your breath. You hold your breath for like 20 seconds. You don't breathe.
Breathe out as much as you
can. And then you exhale as much as you can. You hold it. And then what you do is you breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Do that like 3 to 5 times. And then you take a breath, hold it for 20 seconds. And it's that 20-second hold where you're holding under pressure in your lungs because you're basically like bearing down with your diaphragm. And you take it as much as you can. Like, and then you push down on your abs and you sit there and you watch the little oxygen meter go boop, 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 up to 100%. And they'll sit there and then you do that and you'll start getting lightheaded a little bit because you get a little bit of an oxygen rush. But the problem with it is it's like, you start getting tired after a while because it's like you're having to use your ab muscles to do it.
Right.
But it does work. Like I can get my oxygen to go up to 100% by doing that breathing exercise every time. But it's like I don't want to sit there all day, every day doing the breathing exercise. Mm-hmm. And even if you do the breathing exercise, you're still not gonna get the oxygen from breathing pure oxygen. Like breathing pure oxygen, you're gonna max out everything and oversaturate everything. So, and I don't think you're gonna get that from the Wim Hof method. Although that guy is like baller, dude. That guy is
dude. It's remarkable.
They need to study that fucker. Like his biology is like unhuman, man. Like if you see the shit he does,
the breathing thing. Like I watched him do like because with the breathing and things like that, he has like a better control over his adrenal system.
Yeah.
And so like
he doesn't get sick either.
Yeah. They brought him into a medical facility. They hit him with like a bunch of histamine.
Yep.
And he does his breathing thing. And there was, because of the adrenal response from the breathing, he had no reaction, allergic reaction to the histamine. The adrenaline being pumped into his body counteracted the histamine response.
He also let him infect him. Yeah. He got infected with a series of common viruses. Because he literally, like, as a part of the study, he said that, yes, I will let you infect me with these viruses. And he showed no immune response. Like there was no temperature increase in his body. There was no congestion in his lungs. Like, and they were like giving him like, they weren't giving him shit that would kill him, but like rhinovirus and flu and stuff like that. And he just didn't get sick. His body just fights off everything.
It's really neat. There's a really good, this is old now, but there's a really good sort of semi-documentary, a team from Vice.
I watched that. I watched it on YouTube. That's where I know him from.
6 weeks, I think. So spent 6 weeks training with him. And then they hiked this mountain in boots and shorts.
Yeah.
Like, they're like passing people who are all in there.
Was that the one where they had the woman with them too?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like they had the guy and the woman from Vice, and they were both
5 of them.
Yeah.
Follow his training for a few weeks. And then they walk to the top of this mountain in the snow in shorts and boots.
Yep. And like part of the training is he just has a barrel that's full of water and ice, and it's like him and another dude he just dunks you down in the barrel with him, and the other guy's like shivering, and his teeth are chattering and shit, and like Wim is like nothing. Like there's no change between being in cold or being in hot.
Just the basics of that is like I try and tell my ladies and the girls and stuff about, like, don't tense up when you're cold, when you're trying to get really cold and stuff.
Yeah.
Like you're just forcing the blood into your core. You got to stay loose, deep breaths, just real basic, that Wim Hof stuff. And like,
well, the shivering is a response to save you from dying. Yeah. But he figured out how to keep the blood flowing to the extremities where other people it shuts down.
Yeah. You got to keep that warm, man. And it works. It seriously works. It is.
Like the dude literally can just sit in ice water all day. Like literally just ice water all day long with his head sticking out, and it's like he's sitting in a hot tub. Right? Like the dude doesn't shake, doesn't nothing. He gets out. So cool. Even his skin response, like when he gets out of the cold, his skin doesn't look welted and red like the other people do. Like his body just does not adversely respond to the cold.
It is because it's the breathing.
It's all the
breathing technique and stuff. And that leads to control over your adrenal response. That's how you say.
I remember at the end of the Vice thing too, where they're like, "Is there anything else you want to say to people?" And it's like, and he's like, "There's only 2 things that you need to know in life to be healthy." And he's like, "All you have to do is know how to breathe and know how to fuck."
That's
what he said. He said those are the only two things in life that matter for health and happiness or whatever. And I was just like, I was laughing when I heard him say that. He's like, and he said it like with such gusto. Like, he's like, these are the only things that matter in life. Everything else is inconsequential.
Works for me.
And he's like, all right. Well, I mean, he's got a point. Hey, what's up, Gregor? How's it going, man?
That's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I if you've never heard of Wim Hof, go look him up on YouTube. He's really a character. Stuff. He's all over the place. They've done a million freaking things on him. Everybody thinks that he, thought that he was like a phony, but every person that goes and tests him turns around and says, nope, he's the real deal.
It's on top of it. It's super cool.
David Blaine is another one that people don't give credit to. Like David Blaine has done some insane shit that people think is a joke because he did so much illusion stuff that nobody believes him when he does the real shit.
Yeah.
But it turns out that a lot of stuff David Blaine does is just real. Like there is no gimmick. He just learned how to actually do it. So when people think, how is the illusion done? It's like, there's no illusion. He's just really doing it. Like when he sticks the needles and shit through his hands, like between his like metacarpal bones and stuff like that, and no blood comes out. That's like, he's really stabbing a needle through his hands. Like he's really putting hooks and shit into him. And there's no blood coming out. And it's like, how the fuck do you do that? But apparently you can. Apparently you can train enough and do that enough that doesn't happen. Isn't that wild?
Yeah. It's
and then staying underwater. I think it was 30 minutes or something like that. He did underwater. He got pretty fucked up from that, but he actually did do it like live on TV. He was floating for like 30 some minutes.
Yeah.
Holding his breath underwater, like doing the shallow water thing where it's like you just float.
A combination of like the Wim Hof thing and then slowing your heart rate down. I don't see why not. Like,
lived in a block of ice for like 10 days or something. I remember that one he did where he literally lived in a block of ice for like 10 days where everybody could sit there and watch him 24/7.
Buddy of mine was doing like the Wim Hof thing like really, really religiously. And he could, and this is after an exhale, he could hold his breath for like 4 minutes.
That's insane. That's
with
insane.
Nothing. With
the longest I ever could hold my breath.
Like, right. With the Wim Hof thing, you don't push the air out. You just let it go. So there's still a little bit still inside of you. But I want to say like 4.5 minutes of being essentially basically empty.
When I was scuba diving, I could hold my breath for 3.5 minutes at my best. And they said that was baller. That was like 3.5 minutes was considered hella respectable when I could do that. And it took a lot of training to get the 3.5 minutes. I want to say I started out at like 45 seconds and that was already like pushing it to the max. And so you do just keep getting better. Like if you just keep doing it, if you keep just laying face down in a pool and you hold your breath and you just keep pushing it another 5 seconds, like literally within like 2 weeks, you're like up to 3 minutes. It's wild how far you can take that. And then you fight the, what's that response called? There's like your body creates like a panic response where you feel like you have to take a sharp inhalation. Like you're like, oh God, I'm out of oxygen. I'm going to pass out. It turns out that's not even close to when you pass out. Like that's just your body, like, saying, oh shit, you got, do something quick sooner rather than later, to scare you into doing it. Apparently, once you control that response and you ignore it and you get over it, your body just goes, oh, well, I tried. And then you can go like a whole lot longer. But that's not advice. Don't go drowning yourself in the bathtub. But apparently the guys that do the breathing thing is they learn to fight that mechanism. It's like think of it like a gag reflex, but it's for like a breathing reflex. And if you can fight that breathing reflex and you can control that breathing reflex, you can go a hell of a lot longer. And I know Wim Hof, he can, like when he comes up after staying underwater for a long time, he does not take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Like he comes up out of the water and he's breathing normal after being under there. And it's like, yeah.
Which shows you that he could have probably stayed longer.
Way longer. Yeah, totally. Oh, by the way, we got to show these off before we end the show today.
Oh, that's right. Hang on.
Get your coin. Gotta get your coin. Get your coin.
I don't know about you, but mine is number 1 out of 200. I'm just saying.
Did you get number 1 out of 200?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, it's like you son of a bitch.
Mine's not etched with a number.
Wait, though. Did you? How many did you get?
Just 1.
Look at your screen. How many did you get? I got an extra.
Whatever. One of those for your kid though. So like
it is. It's for my kiddo.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Tech Bandits, man. That is David Hewlett merch right there, my friends. I forget where to buy it. You'll have to go figure out for yourself where to buy it. But yeah, this is the official. I'm going to take mine out of its little wrapper here and touch it.
It is false advertising. The thing is, like, I think the rules are different for mobile versus TV and broadcast. So,
dude, that thing is heavy as hell. Oh, Martin! Hey! I don't know why
you
you do a merch store like LTT. I'd love to give you money.
I'd love to give you money that way over giving Google a big cut.
I hear you, Martin. I'll get some merch here sooner or later once I start making YouTube videos again.
Printable to do on demand.
But Martin, we appreciate it, man. That was the second super chat of the day. We appreciate that, brother.
I have ideas for shirts or stickers and things that I think a little extra bucks on the side would be pretty fun.
You should. LTX was awesome gaming, Matty Rocks. I had a blast. Like, honestly, I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to do it, and I pulled it out, and I was surprised.
And I'm glad you didn't get sick.
Yeah, dude. How weird is
every
that?
Con I think you've been
every
to
con I've gone to, I've got sick.
You've come back
like bad weather. Sick. I always get like pneumonia and shit.
Yeah.
And this time Xander got sick. We came back. Xander had 101 temperature for like 2 days. I walked away unscathed. So
not ever.
Woo!
I've been
you want to know what my trick is?
PAX and PDX LAN. It was funny. I just was at NAB earlier this year, and like 3 of the people I went with got sick, and I'm like, you guys suck. Just stop. Have you tried just not getting sick? Because that's what I do. I just don't get sick, and I'm meeting people. I'm shaking hands. I'm talking with people at the booth and things like that. I'm doing all the same stuff that they're doing. And like, I'm not exactly the most healthiest person. Okay. I'm very sedentary. I eat the food that I want to eat, that kind of stuff. I take a multivitamin sometimes, like when I remember to take it, that kind of thing. Like I smoke, the Chiba on occasion, like burning stuff. I put weird shit in my lungs and things, and like I'm just fine. Yeah, man, con crud is totally a thing. It is totally a thing. It is not. I'm not trying to downplay like the existence of con cruds and things like that, but yeah, I'm with you, Ballier Brand. I just don't. I think so. There's 2 parts of it. I'm a big believer of creative visualization, right? Like you can kind of cause things to be by having like to your core belief or something, right? And I think that is it. I think that's a part of it, is my constant repetition and belief that I don't get sick leads to me not getting sick. And that strength has definitely wavered as I've gotten older, because like my lady will get sick with something that'll hit her for like a week or something, and then like just being close to each other and whatnot, there's only so much you can do to avoid the reality of germs and things. But even then, she'll be laid up for like a week or 3-4 days or whatever, and I'll have one really bad day. That's it. And that's another part of it. Wash your hands, don't touch your face. Wash your hands, don't touch your face. All of your smooshy membranes, your nose, eyes, mouth, don't touch that shit. Just wash your hands, don't touch your face. Is a big one. But yeah, I think I do think a big part of it though is like the mind over matter. Like I just believe that I don't get sick, and so like that's just I create my own reality in that sense.
For me, I got my last vaccination right before I left, so my immune system was pretty topped off with the antibodies, and I was taking vitamin C and vitamin D.
Malaria shot because you went to Canada. Malaria, typhoid fever, yellow fever, all those ones.
Nope. I got my DTaP renewed not too long ago. But
that's a good one. Yeah,
but
that's tuberculosis, right?
It's like a whole bunch of them. It's it's like tuberculosis, whooping cough, pertussis, a couple different ones. But the whole time I was there, I mean, I had people like right in my face too, like the whole time. Like I was getting nervous, but I was like, so I was pretty much expecting to get sick. But before I went, like I said, for 3 months, I took vitamin C, high dose vitamin C every day.
Nice.
Vitamin D and vitamin B,
nice.
6 and 12. And so I took that, and I think that really actually helped me in the long run because. Oh, there it is.
Thank you guys very much.
Oh man, Martin, we love you, brother.
You should go full Bubble Boy next con. That'd be fun.
Oh man, yeah, no, I just I don't know. I had to get back out and see people again. It was cool to see people. It was cool to like experience like what it used to be like again. It was energy that I needed. I was mentally really messed up, and this kind of pulled me out of my funk. So I'm pretty excited to go do another one here in the not too distant future. But the recovery time sucks though. Like getting back, it's like it's Friday or Saturday, and I'm still just exhausted. Like it's been a week since I got back, and I still feel like I haven't caught up on my rest. Because when I was down there, we walked back and forth from the hotel. I think it was four or five blocks, uphill one direction, downhill the next direction, and we walked that 6 times in 2 days. And I had to take a lot of breaks and stuff, obviously, because my back kept going out on me. But I did make it. We never had to use an Uber or anything, and I was able to walk around the venue and meet everybody. And most of the people I was talking to, I was on my feet while I was doing it. I mean, I was in tremendous amounts of pain, but it didn't matter because I was having such a good time. It was weird. It's yeah. So, all right. Well, I know you wanted to wrap up a little bit early today.
Yeah.
So what are your plans? What are you up to this weekend? Do anything fun?
Just family stuff,
Family stuff's good, man.
Yeah.
Family stuff's good. I think I might go do a little bit of that myself today.
Nice.
Go watch a movie with the kiddo or something. Play some video games. Video games. As for the rest of you guys, thank you for stopping by for Tech Talk today. We really do appreciate that. And we'll be streaming at our regular scheduled times on Twitch next week. So come check us out over there. Is there anything you wanted to say?
Well, I have the Baldur's Gate 3 just come out. I do want to play that on stream. I'm leaving for a con for work Monday.
Ooh, can you say which con or?
SIGGRAPH.
Oh, SIGGRAPH. I've heard of that. Yeah. Never been to that one.
It's for like 3D visualization, things like that.
Well, I need to get my shit going on the YouTubes and pumping out the videos again so I can shake John down for another PC because this 2018 box over here ain't cutting it anymore. Need to get me some more of that VRAMs.
Yeah. I do want to stream Baldur's Gate 3 and more computer stuff as well. But probably not until after I come back from the con. So I'm kind of cheating. I am playing it a little bit on my own because I don't want to. I mean, because I want to play on my own, but I will start a fresh save and stuff for live. Because I never actually finished Act 1 during early access, and so I want to at least get that. But I probably won't, and probably I'll just start a new save for the stream and just go from there. So
I'm hoping by the beginning of or by the end of next week that I'm starting to assemble the Voron because that's long overdue. I want to build that printer bad. Like I got to clear the space. I got the tools rounded up now. I just got to get them down into the garage and everything. But yeah, I want to build that sumbitch. What was that?
My lady just startled me.
Oh, did she creep up on you?
Yeah, just getting something out of her bag or something.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I'm going to build that Voron, and then I've got a keyboard build coming up that we'll probably do next week. It's going to be
say right now, don't get caught up in the editing part. Just put it out there.
Oh no, I'm not going to.
Be rough with it.
I'm learning a whole new platform of DaVinci Resolve and everything, so I'm not expecting to be a genius out of the gate with that thing. But I've already started posting shorts. Have you noticed that? I've posted like 3 shorts in the last week on YouTube. So
because you were talking about the fucking Rumbler thing you put on.
Yeah, they're not getting many views, but they're out there. Oh yeah, I did a Rumbler. I can't demonstrate it here, but if you guys watch my Twitch stream, I have a bass shaker literally mounted to my microphone stand. So
nice.
So you guys now, when you do stuff on the Twitch stream, it makes this thing jump around the desk and bang around to make all kinds of commotion. I'll get that permanently wired in at some point. Also have an amplifier with 4 other bass transducers that are 3 times the size of this one. So I'm gonna probably put one on the chair. I'm probably gonna put one, I don't know, on the back of the chair, one on the base of the chair, maybe one on each arm of the chair, so it like shakes the arms and do some VR and stuff. It'll be fun. Hey. Oh hell yeah, Joe Taji coming in clutch, bro. Oh, thank you so much. You guys,
Thumber Lumberjack and Sexy Cleese.
That is awesome, man. Between Joe Taji and Martin, you guys, thank you so much. You guys really made this stream for us. We appreciate it.
I can eat another week.
Yes, we get to have the top ramens again. Yes. Oh, Irene, you like DaVinci Resolve? Yeah, I mean, it's free. Like you can pay for the better version, like, but the free version does amazing things.
Only pay for it if you're using multi GPU.
Yeah, multi GPU.
That's really the only really big draw.
Oh, and noise reduction. If you have shitty camera equipment, you need that real time noise reduction feature, which is actually really nice. That you have to pay for the pay version.
Aren't there like nodes or plugins or whatever you can use instead though? Like
not that I've seen, but there might be.
Okay, I don't know a whole lot about it, so
I haven't dived in very much. I know Adam's going to give me a keyboard when I get over there one of these days that has like it's a DaVinci Resolve keyboard that has like dials and stuff. So I'm going to grab that and see if I can't be an editing.
It's for the color correction thing.
Yeah, I want to use that because that way I don't have to I can learn on the actual platform using the thing that's supposed to be for editing, and hopefully that'll speed me up a little bit.
Blender video editor? Blender's like a 3D modeling thing, isn't it? What do you mean video edit? That's interesting.
Does Blender make a video editor? I always thought Blender was just a 3D modeling program. That's it. Have you already started using DaVinci Resolve? I have some stuff to tell you and send you that'll improve your experience. Yeah, hit me up on DMs on Twitter.
There's a Jay Lippman, Lippman. He's got tons and tons of tutorials and stuff too. He's a good Resolve guy.
Yeah, well, this weekend, hopefully tomorrow, I'll just come up here and install DaVinci Resolve and start playing with it with some of the footage from the trip. Might upload like a little video of me like building the screwdriver, building my screwdriver. My second one that I got here. Yeah. Whoa. Now I got two. Yeah, like you took every color in the parts bin to build like the most. Yeah, you like that? Look at that. Oh yeah, I got my screwdriver on. So now I got two. I got the official and I got the one I built myself in Canada. So
Blender's more like an After Effects replacement. Yeah, sort of. I guess.
That's what I've heard.
More of like a 3D designer, I guess. 3D modeling and stuff is more my experience with it.
I've heard of people using it though, like for to replace like Blender and DaVinci Resolve, because you can do alpha layers and then do the 3D modeling on top and do some tracking stuff. So I think it does replace some of the functionality of After Effects. But I never used After Effects. After Effects was always way too hard for me. Like not a single one of my videos. That's actually not true. One video I used After Effects and it was like for some smoke from a barrel of a gun or something like that in a prank, and it was like so. It took way too much effort, so I'm not big on it. But yeah, some people do like I know people that do their entire video editing in After Effects, like without even using Premiere at all. And it's like that's gotta be crazy, man.
How would you do that? That doesn't seem
no. And it's like so many layers. That's so complicated. But just people just got they're so used to using it, and they got all the shortcuts and shit that they can just plow through it. I can't do it though.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, hit us up over on the Twitter. At AuxxZillary and at Barnacules. We'd love to hear from all you guys over there. I should say X, sorry, over on X.
Whatever.
Please X us over on X, because that sounds so much better than tweet us on Twitter.
Post.
Yeah. Oh, go X us. Yeah.
Me.
Z us, please.
Zex platform.
All right. We'll catch you guys on our individual live streams over on Twitch, and peace out. And for the rest of you guys, we'll see you next week if you don't watch the Twitch stuff. Maybe. You let me know though. Give me some heads up.
I have no reason to believe otherwise.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. All right. Just let me know.